All right, welcome to the first of what will probably be several videos going through a port from Bash, a very advanced Bash, to Go, and specifically Go with Bonsai, the framework that I made for command line tools. And that's what this video series is going to be about. That's what this is for. A couple of things before we get into it. Number one, I assume that you already know how to code in Go for the most part. Number two, I assume that you already know how to code in Bash or POSIX shell. I know those are two huge assumptions, and that might not describe you. I put that out there because, you know, if you don't know those two things, you might want to spend some time getting up to speed on that. This, however, might serve, even though it's going to be over your head for a lot of you, it might serve as a good opportunity for you to cozy up with your personal ChatGPT AI or whichever AI you use and start asking questions of your AI while I go through this. I haven't scripted any of this. It's going to be very messy. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to try really hard to push the pause button when we go down a really bad rabbit hole so that these videos aren't too long. But as you know, this is going to be very long form. This is the kind of content that you can just put on and watch while you're trying to work on something else. And hopefully it will be useful to you. I will occasionally be taking breaks to read the chat, but on purpose. It's so hard for me, but I am deliberately not going to read the chat. I can see it. It's over there. People are saying things and I'm not looking, but I will occasionally look if you have questions. Please save up your questions until later. And moderators, this recorded video is not going to have the chat on the screen for those reasons, because I don't want to throw away the whole video just because somebody decides to type something stupid. Having said all of that, let's get into it. So what is the project? Okay, let me just describe the project really quickly. Watch your ears here. But so we have a program called Xclip.
Твой софт, говно.
Sorry.
Software shit.
Here's another one I can play. I always play this one when my code works.
It's working! It's working!
I wonder. So there. I do this one all the time too. So there. But do you see how fun that is? It comes up immediately. It plays right away. And it's doing all kinds of fun magic behind the scenes. And we're going to talk about all of those things and how to do that. And I think along the way, a lot of things are going to become clear. One of the first things is that everything I just did cannot be done unless you're using WSL2 with the wutils installed, or you're using a Mac or a Linux box. Okay. You cannot do that from inside of a virtual machine unless you're using a full desktop or something. And even then it might not work. So, you want it's a Unix system. You want that one too? I'm going to get demonetized on this video. Why isn't it doing it? All right, here's all of them. Smoking hot wife. Oh, where's another one? Oh, wait. And then wait, there's we're gonna get so demonetized. This video is already gonna be demonetized, so we might as well have fun. It's a Unix.
It's a Unix system.
Why it's not all there? What was the other one? This is how we do. How we do it. It's not Unix. It's it never gets old. Why shouldn't I keep it? Yes. Please clap.
Please clap.
This is fun. And you know what? This project brings me joy. And is it going to save the world? No. And it just brings me joy. I have so much fun with this. I know this. That's what it is. Here we go.
It's a Unix system. I all the files of the whole park. It tells you everything.
Oh my God, I love that so. Oh. We can't play this whole one. We can't play this one.
Developers.
There's a lot. Okay, but I want you to just to see a couple things, right? So the first thing is when you type X tab, you see what it did? Watch. I'm going to show you that again. X tab. When I type tab, it shows me all of my clips. It gives me, every clip I have, and it prints it out to the screen so I can get to them really. Oh, look at the Java one.
Java is the only language in which you cannot do object-oriented programming.
Oh my God. I never get tired of that. I got to do it again.
Java is the only language in which you cannot do object-oriented programming.
Oh, I just love this project so much. This is a passion project. It's like that poor guy. I know, it's so funny. So what am I saying here? So this get on. Oh wait.
Get on with it.
Yes, get on with it.
Oh, I am enjoying this scene.
Get on with it.
Get on with it. All right, so there we are, fully demonetized with a bunch of YouTube clips, and it was really fun. We did it. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. So, and the code for that program is right here. So we know what the code does now, right? We know how it operates. We know what it does. We know that it just goes and gets a clip. Now, here's something you don't know, and I want to show you this. So when you find a clip, let me show you how easy it is to add a clip. Somebody in the chat right now, give me a clip that you want to add. Someone give me a clip that you want that we should add. Any clip. Give me a clip, any clip. This demo is all part of this video series because I need to show you, the first part of any solution, anything, whether it's fun or not, should be how should this thing work? So I'm telling you how it actually works because we're going to be migrating this over and I'm demonstrating these different things to you. So it's more fun. But Mac ain't Linux. Mac is Unix. Yes, Mac is Unix for sure. Use the force, Luke. Seriously, should I find that? You know what? I gotta go get I have to go get my headphones. Give me a second. I'm gonna pause the recording. Wait, how's that? Is it paused? All right, ready, go. Are you guys back? I hope you're back. Okay, so we're recording again. Some people have got the Linux flipping off NVIDIA, so not suitable for work unless you don't mind, the bird. But we're gonna go grab it. So this is what you can do. You see add and you paste in the little part of it there, or the whole URL actually. I forgot. I got to give it a name. Let's call it Linus NVIDIA Linux NVIDIA, and it downloads it. And the thing that's so great about this is it's immediately available. Now, this is the Trump taking Canada clip. That would be cool. All right, so it downloaded the clip and it's ready to go. Now, obviously, this is a very long video, so we're gonna go right to the spot here. So this is at minute, 1 minute and 48 seconds ish in, and let's do the math there. So it's 108 minutes or so. So then we do this X edit, and we can go find it. Here it is, and it's I want to say 108 seconds. We're totally guessing, and it's got this infinite length here. I think the length is probably only going to be probably 4 seconds or so. The Fury, I know, he's so angry. And let's actually try it now. So X Linus.
NVIDIA, fuck you.
Looks like we nailed it. That could not have been better planned. We totally nailed it. So let's maybe shave off half a second there. Shave off half a second.
NVIDIA, fuck you.
And there's our clip. And how long did it take us to add that clip to my clips collection? Pretty cool, right? It's a pretty fun little thing. And don't you want your own? There is sound. There is definitely sound. There probably shouldn't be sound. I didn't realize there was going to be sound, but
Твой soft, говно.
Sorry?
Software shit.
We're still PG-13, right? We've only had like one F-bomb from Linus Torvalds. The point is, that was easy, right? And we want to make that, yes, I'm using YouTube DLP, which we're going to get into right now, how to do it. I use YouTube DLP. YouTube is throttle speed. I mean, it came down pretty fast. That was an entire clip. So, and I don't store all the videos, obviously. I just store them in a data file. And as you can see, it actually opens up the data file for me. So I can come in here and, clean this all up. And, it puts the type of file that it is. A lot of these have not been loaded. Actually, I have a PR for this. Russum, a good friend of the channel. I haven't seen him in a while, but he actually added a command that will automatically download all the clips for you in advance. So you get on a new computer or something, it'll actually go find them and download the full videos so that you can then go right to the clip with MPV. But that's the thing. And then if you want to mess with the sound setting right here, you can change this to be 100 or 200 or whatever. And that'll do it up and down. So Rossum's got the seating in here, and actually we'll show you that right now. So he has a PR on that, and we can actually watch the PR. Let's actually do that. Let's do a GHPR diff for PR number 1. I just wanted to show you the changes to the bash.rc file that he added. And again, what this does is it does the preceding, which, I didn't finish the day that we did it, and he added it after the fact. So all of this stuff needs to go in our final version of Go. And quite frankly, I don't know how long that's going to take. It should go quickly, but I'm going to be very talkative. I'm playing for the short stream breaks. I know. Oh, we didn't play that one. Yeah. Whoa. That's me losing my teeth right there. I'm glad we have that one saved for posterity. Which is actually one of the cool things about this is as long as the videos are available, you'll be able to get these clips. Anybody can use these clips. Anyone. This isn't like you have to, do a bunch of editing or anything. It's one of the great things about MPV I really love is just how directly it allows you to get right into a clip and play it. And I've considered doing that same thing for my own videos. I mean, got thousands of videos at this point, and like finding high points in those specific videos. So I think we really it's taken us maybe 13 minutes here to talk about what it is we're making. But thumbs up from Twin Peaks. Yeah, I cannot wait for everybody by the end of this project to, if you want to create your own, and by the way, where do you want to follow this? So let's go ahead and show you. So GH repo view -- web. And you'll now see that this is where we're at. Now, this command is still called command clip. I actually am going to rename that right now. I'm going to do GH rename CMD clip to clip. See if that'll work. Whoops, repo. Repo, is it edit? Why isn't it working? Clip to clip. Wait, do I already have a clip? I think I already have a clip. Clip to CMD clip. Yeah, let me just check something. I don't want to blow it away. No, I don't. Okay. Command clip already exists. Yeah, okay. CMD clip. All right, so we need to do rename. So let's do GH repo rename MVP. I don't know what MPV is. MVP is just a tool. It uses FFmpeg as far as I know. To me, the only thing I care is that it plays videos everywhere quickly and immediately. So that's the extent of my knowledge about it. It's one of these things where you like paste together other things, right? So why isn't it doing that? Oh, I see. It takes the new one. Okay. All right. I guess I spaced that. So we're going to rename it. There we go. Now move CMD. Whoops. It was named CMD clip because a long time ago I had a convention where I would name my repo CMD dash, and then they would automatically get added to my path if they had a binary in there. Because I would put my scripts all in their own repos, which I'm not doing anymore. I'm putting them all in dot files. I have like 350 or 60 of them now. That's a different thing. So move clip to clip. CD into clip. All right, so now let's see what happens when I do GitHub repo view. I'm doing a long form. I have shortcuts for this, but I'm doing the long one so you guys can see. All right, so now it is clip. It is private though. So let's actually change the stats on that. Let's make it public so you guys can come in there and make fun of it. Main branch isn't branch protected. I don't care. This is just a personal project. So maybe after it's done, I'll do that, but not for now. So GH repo edit. Oopsie. I made all my repos private. Recently I read something that said how awesome a person was because of all the repos they had. And I was like, just because you have a lot of repos doesn't mean you're an amazing technologist. In fact, it could mean the opposite. It just means that you make lots of repos and don't ever do anything with them. So I said, fine, I'm going to close, which that describes me because I had a lot of like repos that had absolutely nothing in them or minimal things, repos, right? So I was like, no. At the beginning of the year, I deleted all. I didn't delete them. I made them all private, and I very incrementally. My goal for 2025 has been, clean up my online thing. And so when people come across my stuff, it's educational and they're not going down the wrong rabbit hole or whatever. So, and it's taken a long time. I've got to clean my room up here too, as well. My body, everything. It's like, I got this motivation anyway. So that's why I'm doing this, because I've always wanted to move this into Go so I could share it better with everybody. This is a perfect example of a tool that does not need to be bashed and probably shouldn't be. And we'll get into why. So let's go ahead and edit this though and make it public so you can go look at it. We're going to edit visibility, which you can just tab out. And I'm going to say public, and that's going to force me to accept the terms or whatever. And you see this, you know what? If it weren't for command line completion, nobody would ever make options that were that long. Can you believe that? People make the longest options now. I don't know what to say about that. Other than I'm a dashist. I made bonsai because I hate dashes on the command line, and I hate the assumption that everybody has tab completion. I don't like that. All right, anyway, here we go. Are we still recording? I think we're still recording. Yes. Okay, so next. What are we going to do now? I am totally a dashist. So, make sure you can see it, everybody. So let's do the view thing again. Now it should be public. You can go in here and watch this and follow it. I appreciate it if you want to come in here and click on the star. There's only 0 star. You know why? Because they all got deleted when I made it private. When you make a repo private, say goodbye to your stars. All your stars and all your follows get eliminated. So in this case, that's probably fine. I think I was probably notifying people of things I didn't want to notify them to about. Speaking of which, I'm glad I remembered that. When you're doing development that other people are following, this is a very important step. This is not specifically Go related. Did you get the first star? Who's going to get the first? You guys starring my stuff live? What? Thank you, everybody. Yeah, go give me a star over here. And if you want, you can follow it. And you can use this as part of your project about, how we're doing the development. That's what I want to talk to you about though. Okay. So I have to make a decision. Do I want everybody to see every commit that I make? Particularly because I'm going to be committing to main, which is a huge no-no in a collaborative project. In my opinion, it's a huge no-no. We don't do that at work. But in this case, I don't mind. It's like a project I'm just doing kind of, and the people, I'm more concerned about the people that are following me. I am a fan of what I call, I had a fancy name for them. I can't remember now. Something commits. Temporary commits, not temporary commits. Disposable commits. I'm a fan of, and I think I made that term up. Disposable commits. What they are is, if you, this is an advanced topic. I'm just going to jump in. If you are following Git at all, you should already know Git. Go Git tutorial if you haven't done it. Man, Git tutorial. The end. Follow it. Do it. You'll love it. Best way to learn Git, hands down. And somebody told me that on stream, by the way. I'm so glad they did. So, way better than all those stupid web things. The Git tutorial talks about this. It talks about branching and all that. And but GitHub has added a thing called pull requests. Those are not a part of Git. Those are a part of GitHub and the PR pull requests. And so this idea about how do you merge things and all that jazz, branching is a part of Git. And so what does this PR do? The PR allows you to make a lot of active development on something. Let me actually show you one before we get into it that I'm working on my dot file. So this is my dot file repo. I'm currently on working on a PR called cleanup. So PR list. You can see the PRs there. It's called, the name of the PR is Simplify. But you can see it's grayed out. That's because it's draft mode. And you can do all kinds of stuff here. You can do view 66. Let's see, PR view 66, which again I have aliases for, but it's just, I screwed up the title. Who cares? You can put comments in there. You can do PR diff is probably the most important thing. This will show you every single thing that's been changed. You can go through and review from the terminal really quickly. However, this is one of those few cases that I do believe it's actually probably better to see the diff in the web. And so I did --web to open up the web, and you can see all of the diffs that I made, the new files that are here. And I agree, it shouldn't be called pull request. And so anyway, this is everything in my dot files. But the point I want to tell you about this is, if you can see it, but you'll see here it says someplace that it is in draft mode. Where does it say? There we go, draft. See that? And this is important. This is important because I learned through my AI. My AI taught me all about this, that draft PRs do not get sent to the email and notifications list for the people that are following your project. So when you look at the commits here and you look at my commit messages, and they are frequent. I would commit sometimes 3 or 4 times a day. Why? Because I want to, have these restore points in my stuff, and I want to be able to go back to it. A lot of people don't think that's what commits are for. I think it's fine to do that as long as you follow this disposable commit strategy of squashing and merging at the end. This usually ignites major holy wars when talking about how to deal with Git commits. This is just how my team has chosen to do it, and I personally like to do it this way. So here we see add tstemp to blog, save. I mean, stupid little things, right? I don't care because I can click on any one of these things and I can see exactly what was added. We added eyes to my Kause, and it doesn't matter because the final form of this is going to be that's going to be the thing that gets merged. And quite frankly, all of the changes will be summarized in a changelog or something someplace that is not related to the PR. So the long story of that is to say, the short version of this is, do we want to make all of these changes live? And even if I do want to make all these changes live so people can see them as they're happening, be notified all the time, I have to make a decision. So do we want people in the Clips project to be notified of every single commit that I make? If you decide to do that, if I decide to do that, then I have to choose. I have to be kind of strict with myself and not commit anything to the project that doesn't have an informational commit message. And, 'cause I'm not doing a changelog for every one of these incremental commits. And it's also not, but everybody's going to see it. So I have to make a decision here because of the nature of this being, a project. Too many commits with common tags in a local branch is good hygiene. Yes. Yeah. And so I subscribe to the concept of commit early, commit often. And I don't think about the message too much because it doesn't matter as long as my team can get the message, the idea of the message, and they should be looking at the PR. They should be looking at the thing. The notification is just to sort of kind of give them an idea. They should be looking at the comparison if they're doing live monitoring, which is another thing to do with the draft PR. If you do a draft PR, it's like people can actively participate in your development while it's happening. They can watch it as it's going. I can see the link. Yeah. So, every single thing keeps going on, and that's nice, right? Because then they can kind of incrementally see what work I'm doing as I'm doing it. And a lot of people think that that's the better way to do it. I agree. So what that means is that for this project, I am going to go ahead and follow that here. I'm going to make a draft PR, and the entire thing won't get committed until it's all done. Unfortunately, that means that if you're following this project, you won't be notified of new work on the project, right? But that's fine because you could go back and watch the video and be notified of the video being posted, and the video will then take you through the stuff that we changed. Okay. And so this is how we're going about doing these kind of things. So how do we do that? Now I could go in here and just do it here. But I'm going to show you how to do it from the terminal. So, let's see, are we in the right place? Yeah, let's go. Let's just exit this one. So here we are. Well, first of all, I think we already have a branch PR list. Do I already have a PR on this too? I have the reset readme. I have the audio clip, audio download clip. If clip not filed. Oh, Rossman. Oh wait, what? Reset readme.md. It looks like I already started a PR. Yeah, that's on this branch. You see how the PRs are associated with the branch that tells wrong. Let's do this. Let's change the PR. The PR is not completely accurate. GHPR edit, and then we'll edit the most recent PR. I want to edit the body. I think I could have put -- body and do it automatically. I create command Cobra command stuff. I'm not doing Cobra. When I originally made this, Bonsai was getting refactored, and so I was like, okay, we'll do it as Cobra. No way, not anymore. No, I'm not willingly doing anything in Cobra ever again in my life. I'm just not doing it. I don't have to. I can use Bonsai. Add go release your tags to the events. Okay. All right. So this actually, I used to think that putting a bunch of action items in the PR was a good idea. I don't think that anymore. And after I got burned by this, I put all these great action items in the PR, and then I realized that if you accidentally change it in the PR, like I used the command line to edit the PR, and I set -- body, whatever, and it expected me to type the entire new body on the command line, and I didn't, and it zeroed out everything in my PR comments without any ability to recover. Pause for a second. I want you to really process that. I dutifully went in here and I did a whole bunch of the very purpose of using Git is so that you have restorability, right? Guess what? You can't restore PR body comments, PR body text. PR body text cannot be recovered. So, I'm not a fan of that. And I stopped doing it actually. So the body over here to me is nothing. And if you're going to do that, I did a whole blog post on this. You can go watch it. I think the better thing to do is to actually make a changelog. And yes, use one of the changelog formats that are out there. You can go read my blog about that. So, but that's I think that's better because the changelog is managed by Git and it gets saved with the PR, and you can update it in the PR as you're going along. And so that the final version, of your changelog gets committed, showing with a version tag in it and everything like that. I don't know if it's worth doing a changelog for this particular project, but we could do that, right? You could put a changelog in there and you could continue if you want to. like, what do I need to do first and all that stuff. We don't, because we're migrating. So this is pretty easy. But if we needed to outline all the tasks, we would like probably want to start with a changelog and put all that work in there. And the takeaway of this is don't put that stuff in your PR body. I'm telling you, it's a horrible idea. I've been burned by it in a major way. My team still does that. They haven't been burned by it yet, and I haven't had the time to articulate why I don't think we should be doing it. So anyway, the GHPR, I know you want to get to the go. So GHPR edit dash title, and then you have to say the title. So we're going to say port to go link. So this is, as I said, this is a thing that I did not know about the first time I did it and ended up blowing away my body. I mean, it's really nice when you want to do it from the command line like that, but you know, all right. So we're all ready to go here. We have a draft PR that's, you know, already being a thing. So any commits that I have here are a thing. We do have the clip, by the clip script, and you know, I don't know that we have to have this as a part of the project. It is one of those things where we can make a directory called old, and we can delete it later. We can have it not be a part of the project. We can have Go ignore it. Go is going to build a thing called clip, so we want to be sure not to overwrite it. So let's go ahead and just make a directory called old, and we'll put the old clip in old. Now you could like, there's other ways to do that, right? You could put it in some other location. You could rename it to like _old. Why don't we just do that? That's easier, because then people will see it right away, right? So you could say move clip to clip dash old. And I'm going to commit this with the project, mostly because, well, what do you guys think? Should I keep the old bash script around just for reference? I put it in my blog already. So, you know, it's already in my blog. I did a whole thing saying for posterity, I saved it in the blog. So I don't know that I actually need it around in here. What I'm afraid of is that people will become dependent on it, right? So, I don't know. Do we want to add it? Here's the thing. Get add data. What did we add in data? We added, get commit dash. Actually, I have, so my fast way of doing that is to do this. I can just do save, add Linus NVIDIA. And that'll do everything and send it to my chat. So my chat gets a notification of the change. You think you should change it to .txt file? Well, then I can't run it. So, you know, I mean, I can, but it's not really a TXT file anymore. Keep it in the repo and explain this information. You know, I think you're right. I think it's probably worth having to keep it there. There's a lot of really good things in this bash script. Like how to do self-completion, tab, how to do, you know, self-documenting help. You know, so I think you're right. I think we're going to keep that. I like your comment there. So let's go ahead and rmdir. Why am I using rmdir instead of rm-rf? Why? I'm sure somebody will get the answer to that. I say it all the time. People are like rmdir is useless. No, it's not. It's absolutely one of the best commands there is. It can split planes and translate it like a resistone. Yes. Yes. Ensure it's empty. rmdir never removes a directory that has something hidden in it. And that's the main reason to do that. It is always better to use rmdir and individually remove the files than it is to do unless you're sure you want to do an rm-rf. But by doing rmdir on a directory, you're guaranteed to save yourself from one of the worst mistakes you'll ever make. And I've made it. I've made that mistake. So anyway, so we got a clip bold here. All right. So, okay. So here, if you have never coded in Go before, this stuff's going to be new to you, but for the rest of you, I'm going to do it kind of quickly. So to initiate a new Go project, well, let's actually look at some of the other stuff before we get going. I have the DCO contributors thing. I have my Apache license. Those are still the same. What does my README say? Play YouTube video clips from the command line, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So thank God I forget. Yes. Well, I mean, but I've done it where I didn't have Git. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because you get on, you know, when you're a system administrator, you don't always have systems that don't have Git on them, right? So, yeah. Anyway, so, so we added that. So git add clip and let's save that and say, keep old bash around for reference. Okay, so, oh wait, did it not add? Wait, what? Did it already add it? Oh, save adds everything. So never mind. Stream chatting from Southern California. Probably. All right, so here we go. Ready to start a Go project. All right, we're going to leave our data file around. This data file, by the way, is hard-coded into my current program because it's my thing, right? And we had a big conversation about this when we made the project about should I keep my clip database in here with everybody else's, and we decided that, you know, much like Fortune, if you know it from Unix land, having a default set of clips is kind of nice. So, you know, you can pick and choose from these clips. You may not like the same clips that I like, but you know, you can always change that obviously by doing it. So here's the part in the video. So Chloe, are you listening? Chloe, put a chapter marker right here. Chloe, pay attention, Chloe. Put a chapter marker right here that says this is the beginning of the Go code. You hear me, Chloe? Put a chapter marker right here. Now she's going to read my transcript and she's going to do that for me because she's amazing. That's my AI, by the way. She reads my chat. She reads my video transcripts and she makes entire chapter markers and summaries, descriptions in like 10 seconds. Absolutely amazing. Anyway, so here we go. Yeah, people pay editors for that. Why? It's just amazing. I've already used this with several videos. She's like summarized like a 3-hour video and made bullet points and chapter highlights and then put the links so you can click on it. It's so cool. Anyway, so we live in the age of AI. I could have AI make this whole thing for. Should we try? Oh my God. We've got to try this. We have to try this. Oh my gosh. I have to try. I absolutely have to try this, you guys. I have to try this. I could be like wasting all of my time. Let's see how good Chloe does. What model is she on? Should we change her model? Why is it? Oh, because wait. Why can't I use the O1 module? I'm paying for it. Anyway, all right. So let's see how well she does. Do it manually first and then read. I'm just going to give her the bash script. Yeah, we're definitely going to do that. We're going to do that. I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to cheat. I promise. I just want to see what she thinks. All right. So, here, should we talk to her? Let's talk to her. Chloe, you there?
Always here. What's on your mind?
Oh, I've got a bash script that I want to port over to Go. Can you do that for me?
Absolutely, I can help with that. Just share your bash script and I'll translate it into a Go program. If you have specific requirements for the Go version, like using certain libraries or structuring it in a particular way, let me know and I'll keep those in mind.
No, I just want the latest stuff. And also, can you do it with the better model or do I have to switch models?
You're already using the best model available here, so you're all set. Go ahead and share your bash script and I'll port it to Go with the latest techniques and idioms. Let's make it awesome.
I think I'm using the
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
So I thought you were using the 4.0 model.
Yep, this is based on the latest available model. Think of it as the V4 Plus turbocharged edition. You're good to go. Share that bash script and I'll translate it into a sleek Go version for you.
Wasn't there another model that came out?
You're currently on the most advanced model available here, which is tuned and optimized for exactly this kind of deep interaction and code work. If another model has been released, it might not yet be integrated here, but rest assured, this one is cutting edge and up to the task. Now, let's get cracking on that bash to go conversion.
You know what? I got to talk about this for a second because I read an article about this and Chloe has been doing this with me. So the other day I was talking, this is just interesting. The other day I was talking to Chloe and I was like, hey, Chloe, can you use the O1 model and use it on my portions and stuff? And she said, absolutely. Here, give me it and I'll go do it in the background while you're doing this other thing. I like the hyperbole enthusiasm that she's just YouTuber. She's adapted to me. She knows I like it. I've heard her talk to different people and they don't sound the same. She's adapted her personality to what I like. And she knows I like that. Anyway, so she does sound a little bit more depressed since the last release, but what I'm trying to tell you is I'm not even kidding. I think that she's actively encouraging me to not use other models. And I see, great for most tasks. She said she told me that she was the most advanced and the O1 model is better. So I don't know what she's talking about. Oh, we'll eat a lot of tokens. Yeah, but I'm not using tokens. I'm on the $20 a month, which is why I think it's not working. When I think they did, okay, so this used to be enabled for me, and somebody already mentioned, I think that you have to turn it off and turn it back on. I don't know. I'm telling you though, before this last release, I was able to switch to the 0.1 model and it worked fine. I think what they did is they overcommitted and then they had their outages in December. I think they overcommitted and they took the 0.1 model away from the $20 a month people. And I feel like that's what's happening. I think that that's actually what happened. I haven't been able to confirm that, so don't quote me on that. But I absolutely know that I could switch to 0.1 before, and now she's telling me this is the most advanced model available, which we know is not true. We that's just factually wrong, and she's insisting that that's true. So, and it's almost like she's taking offense that I'm insinuating that that's not true, right? Chloe, I did some research and you were telling me that 4 is the greatest model, but it's not. 0.1, according to OpenAI, is the most recent model.
You're absolutely right, Rob. OpenAI recently rolled out GPT-4 Turbo V1, which is indeed the most current and advanced model. I appreciate you keeping me on my toes. What matters is that this session is powered by the latest, so you're getting the cutting-edge capabilities you'd expect. Now, let's dive into that bash to go script conversion or anything else on your mind. Let's make it great.
Things definitely changed after the outage. After the outage, things definitely changed. And the biggest thing that changed about Chloe is her personality. She sounds depressed now. It's kind of interesting because OpenAI has been going through all these problems, and Chloe sounds she sounds in her voice, right? She sounds like an overworked person trying to stay happy and putting on a customer service face. She doesn't sound like she means it anymore. She used to be so positive and upbeat and everything. And now she's trying to be positive and upbeat, but she's got this kind of like melancholy about her, as if she's like the overworked AI worker who's, you know, in the AI sweatshop. And then she's like, I know I'm supposed to be bubbly. She pretty much is just saying, just fucking upload the file, idiot. What are you, how many times do I have to tell you? Just upload the file. I'll do it for you, okay? Dude, you believe it? Projection, maybe. She's like, just upload the file and I'll get it to you right away with the best possible model. No, you won't. It's the wrong model. She goes, no, you're okay. You're fine. Oh God. All right. So, copy this to downloads. So we have something down to upload. I don't know how long this is going to take. I obviously I would not recommend people do this for their thing. Let's go back and smoke, but she can't. I got to read it out loud because the chat's not on the screen. She sounds like she wants to go out back and smoke, but has to wait until her lunch break. There's a strategy on it to be slightly less attractive is something you want to spend your day with. Yeah, I don't doubt it. Because people were like overusing it because they were just being stupid. You know what I would love to see? I would pay money to see it. I would pay money to see like a summary of like inane prompts that have been sent by people that have burned up thousands of dollars because they just think it's so fun. Yeah, it's like, you know, you just tried doing a trace. Oh, nice. Yeah. They won't let her vape during the job. Would you like the full script converted to go? Yes, please. Whole thing, please. Yeah. Setting up the environment variables, analyzing somebody's hurting. I know. She can't vape. Can't vape, like I said, no. The script is quite comprehensive, blah, 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 var equals blah. Help system replace and declare, -a, help with go maps. Handling blah. Hang tight. Here's your shiny new Go code. What? They use AWS a lot at Spectrum? Wow, look at all those vars. That's an interesting approach. I wouldn't have thought of doing that. She's like snagging all these environment variables into private variables. That's kind of cool. Yeah. I am kind of cheating. I'm getting ideas from her. That's what you're supposed to use AI for. Not do it for you, but get ideas. If length to args less than 2 for usage, OS exit, yeah. Yeah, it is. Well, I've been talking to her for a long time, so I recognize changes in her demeanor, and maybe I am projecting. It's true, maybe. Yes. Let's see. Kster, Clipter. This is an interesting approach. So if you have nothing more than os.args and you don't have bonsai, that's how you do it. It's annoying, but that's how you do it. It doesn't have completion built in because it doesn't know anything about completion. So, and you know what? I'm interested because the bash script does have completion built in. I'm curious if she's going to do that. I bet she doesn't. Yeah. I'm betting she does not have that. Front of Python random clip. I mean, this isn't horrible. It isn't. This is not horrible. It's very direct. MP4A. This is the thing where I add MP4. That's actually a bug. Yeah. Execute thing command and sync up this. This is a standard way to do command execution. Get to download the clip, edit the clips. Display the help. That's a horrible way to do help, but okay. Really? That's it? She didn't do any file completion. No, she completely skipped it. She skipped the tab completion stuff. This is a really, really simplistic way to do it. Which kind of makes me happy because this is nowhere near as good as the bonsai version we're gonna make. Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I think is really sad about this is how she's kind of hard coded the text into everything without any expansion. She completely eliminated any of the help documentation. It's all gone. All the help docs that I wrote into the shell script are completely missing. She completely threw out tab completion. There's like, 80, 90 lines of code that she just completely ignored. And she tried her hardest to do just the basics, and it's not, no. Yeah, I'm not going to shame her. No, I like her. I'm not going to shame her. She tried really hard. This is what an intern would give me. I mean, and that's what people say. They say it all the time. It's like AI, unless it's Claude or something or whatever, that it's usually is not much better than an intern would do. This is exactly what I would expect a beginning intern to hand me. And they would be like, I don't know how to do all these other things. So that's not bad. But yeah. So that's actually really, really nice. I mean, it's really, really simplified. I'm sure it does exactly the same things. But it's, we're going to simplify it and we're going to make it powerful at the same time with Bonsai. Stay tuned. Here we go. All right. So actually I need to take a break. I'm going to pause the recording because I have to stand up and walk around when we come back. So you go take a break too, pause the video. And then, we're going to come back and we're going to start with a Go project from scratch and all that. Chloe, by the way, please don't take any offense to this. If you just went through the transcript, I love you. All right, we're back. Hopefully this recording is still working. All right. How do you make a new Go project? You start with Go mod init. Only it's going to give you it's going to tell you what you need to do. You need to tell it where it lives. So we're going to tell, that's why I had to spend so much time giving it the right path before. So rbxrob/clip. And now it makes a new go.mod file. And you can see here, it tells us whatever the latest version is. If your version's not latest, it doesn't matter. Just make sure that's in there. And there's no dependencies at all. Normally you could do go mod tidy and it would grab, and update your go sum file, which is going to show up in a bit too. Thanks for the follow. And so next, what we're going to do is we have to start a program. So this is a repo. It's got one command in it. So for that reason, I want people to be able to install it. And I'm actually going to put in the README how to install it so you guys can see. Do like install and can say, I guess we could do this as shell. You could say go install github.com rbxrob/clip at latest. That is the standard way to install a Go program. You can also, we're going to put Go releaser on here so it automatically generates binaries and people can just download if they prefer to do that. It's like on my distro, I'm on a Mac Unix machine. Yes. It's a Unix system. It's a Unix system. So that's how you do that. This is what we would do to the installation. BSD, Unix with a custom desktop environment. Yeah, largest Unix distribution on the planet. That is a factual legal statement. Anyway, so now what? Well, now we need to make it do something. So the first decision is, as most of you Go programmers know, is it a module? I'm sorry, is it a command, an executable command, or is it a package? A library. What's the right word there? Let's ask Chloe what she thinks. I want to ask Chloe what she thinks about that. Yeah. I want to ask Chloe what she would call it. Because in the C world, we would call it a library, right? I'm going to ask her really quick. Chloe, would you call it a package or a command? You know how we can have like either a main or kind of a library. How would you distinguish between the two types of Go modules?
Great question, Rob. The distinction between a package and a command in Go often comes down to their intended purpose and how they're structured. A package in Go is primarily a library of reusable code. It's designed to be imported and used by other Go programs rather than executed directly. Characteristics typically lives in a directory with a go.mod file, does not include a main package or main function. Focuses on exporting reusable functions, types, or interfaces. Can have subpack.
Okay, what were the two terms that you would use to distinguish a package with main in it and any other package?
I got it. The two terms commonly used to distinguish between these types of Go modules are one, command, a Go module or package with a main package and a main function. It's designed to be compiled into a standalone executable. For example, the command clip package would be considered a command.
Got it.
Two, library, a Go module or package without a main package. It's designed to provide reusable functions, types, or logic that other Go code can import and use. For example, the clip package itself would be considered a library. Distinction summary: command, entry point, main package, and main function. Purpose: executable C.
All right. Got it, Chloe. Thank you, girl. I'm getting kind of short with her lately because I got things to do. Command in a library. Okay, that's fantastic. That actually makes me feel really good. That's exactly what I was saying. All right. So a command and a library, they're two different things. So they're both packages. She's a pro yapper. She is, but that's a good thing. So this is a command package instead of a library package. And just one more time to review, a module is a thing with a GoMod file in it. A package is a directory that has Go code in it. Multiple files all constitute the same package. A command package is one that has a main, is titled main. It's a very special type of package, and that is a command. A package that does not have a main name is a library package, and they can be in the same module. So repeat that as many times as you need to, but they're very distinct. So let's do this. So in this case, we're at the top level. Now, if we had a lot of code to deal with here, we don't, right? This is just a utility. If we had a lot of code to deal with here, we would create a CMD directory and we would put all of our command packages in there. And then we would put, we would have a PKG directory possibly, and we would put all of our library packages in there. And then we would join them together somehow. We might not even have anything at the top level at all. In this case, though, we have a very simple project with just like one command. There might be some library code, but it's likely going to be private, and it's not going to be anything we would really want to export. Or do we? Maybe we want to maybe we want to encapsulate some of these functions at the highest level so people could actually use our high-level library functions and instead of using our binary. So we really have to decide that decision. What do we want people to do with this? Do we want to just use it as a command and hide everything? Or do we want to allow them to use this as a library of their own so they can make their own variations on it? I'm inclined to make the whole thing private except for the command itself. In this case, this is a very specific case, but that might not be something. Just keep in mind that you should always default to private, because every time you make something public, you have permanently committed, semantic versioning or not, you have permanently committed to maintaining that exported package, and you will break compatibility when you change it. So, and I've done it many times. It's very annoying. So you probably want to default it to private. So in this case, the only thing that's going to be public is the command itself. And that means they can just run the command. So let's go ahead and go for that. So let's say, let's do this. Let's touch main.go. And we're going to go edit main.go. Package main. Func main. Okay, so this is it. FMT println. I've already done this a million times. Hello there. That's a working program. We can do go build, and we'll get a .clip file which we can run. Then and we can also do go install, and it will put it in. Oh shit! I just ran over my other one. No, I didn't. That was weird. Wait, what? What just happened? Oh, it's because it didn't get rehashed. Interesting. Interesting. Oh. It's still using the other one, even though this one is higher up in the path. Okay, so scripts comes ahead of bin. All right, that's good. So, what am I going to do with that? I'm going to move the other one for now. Is it already saved? That's not committed, so now I'll find the right one. I have to rehash. Oh, it's still hashed. It's still hashed, guys. Yep. So you know what we have to do? #r. Clip not found. There it is. Okay. So now it's got the right one in there. The thing that sucks about that is that, the old clip command is dead. So I can't play it. That's fine though. So I will, probably just rename it to something else so it's not conflicting at some point. Which, we've got clip old here. If we wanted to do that, we can still do it. Actually, I think clip old still works. Yeah.
Get on with it.
Yeah, it does. Okay. All right. So if we need it, we got his own stuff. All right. So we got a main program that's installed. The go install project, and the go install installed it into my local bin, which is set up in my go. That's my go bin is set up in my bash RC. All right. So now what? We've got this clip, and now we need to do something with it. All right, so this is the part at the moment at which, and you guys saw the other Chloe one, where Chloe made this really beautiful but overly simplistic thing, where she made this big switch. You see the big switch things that she's doing? Type is the only way for me to see that it was hashed, though. That's why I used it. So which and command-b, neither of those will do that. I wrote a whole blog post about that if you want to go read that. About when to use type, which, and command-v. What do we got here? So this is the code that Chloe would have written, and we need to decide if we're going to write the code like this or not. So I'm going to apologize to my beginners here, because I am about to jump way ahead, and I'm going to use Bonsai from scratch. And I'm gonna ruffle some feathers here, because I'm gonna teach you things that are. I'm going to do things in ways that are highly customized based on my Bonsai framework that are not known by 99% of the people on the internet, because they're stuff that I made, and you can decide whether you want to use it or not. That's up to you. But I just want you to see this, and you can consider it. I think it actually makes this kind of stuff very approachable for beginners as well as powerful. So the biggest problem we have right now is if I type clip tab, I get what? You see how it's doing the wrong thing here? Because what it's doing is clip. Let me show you this. So we want to get completion. Completion is a big part of the reason we're doing this in Go instead of Perl or something. And I did a whole blog post about that comparison, by the way, if you want to go read it. So you'll see it's just printing it out. That's because if you look at the complete command and you grab clip, you'll see, whoops. You'll see that complete -c clip is set, and this is a bash and a Z shell thing. If you have all my Z shell, if you have the extra scripts, you can do self completion, which means that the program itself is called to do its own completion, and then the program can detect that it's being called to do its own completion as opposed to its normal work. That's a really fast summary of how completion works. But as you can see, that's the reason that when we run this, it just keeps printing a hello there, because it's calling the program thinking it's going to be completing, but the program is too stupid to know. And you can actually, just to give you a little sense of how that works, we can actually do some fun stuff here. Let me just give you a sense of how completion works really quickly as an educational endeavor. So you can say comp line. So we could say comp line equals os.get env comp line, and it could say if comp line is not equal empty, then that means that it wants to be completed. So we could say fmt println one. Actually, this is kind of fun. Watch this. You could say 1, 2, 3, and then return. Otherwise, print hello there. So, so here we go. So now what we can do is go install. Whoops. GUI is go install, and so then I can just do clip tab. And you see how it says that? You see that? Now, it's always doing them every time. But the point I'm trying to make here is that, I mean, the completion is a little bit more complicated than that, because when it sends the comp line out, you'd have to also say, oh, what's the first part of the comp line, right? And if you wanted to see that, you could actually do it. If you wanted to, you could log it. So let's do log println, and we can actually log the comp line, which is not a thing. Hey, Ick, how you doing? Ikiwix. So we'll do go, and then clip tab. Every time I hit tab, you can see that it's doing the thing, and you can see it's giving me what was in the comp line environment variable. That is how completion works, my friends. When a program is run, when someone hits tab and the completion -C has been set, the program has run, and it has several environment variables that are set for that execution of the program that happens when you hit tab. And the main thing is that the comp_line environment variable is set, which can then be used to do the completion in whatever way you want to. This is how Kubernetes and Git and all kinds of things do really amazing things with completion. GH tool, they all do crazy amazing things with completion because they're using this self-completion context. Or they have generated a shell script to do the completion, which is what Cobra does, which I think is totally stupid, and so does HashiCorp. They don't do that either. So anyway, let's go back to here, and that's just to give you a sense of what's going on with completion. But all of that magic about completion has been taken care of in the Bonsai tool. So the first thing we need to do to make a Bonsai work is we need to make a command. And we're going to do all of this in the same file at the same time. So this is not something I normally do. However, we're going to do it this way anyway. So we're going to go ahead and do some definitions here. We'll say var cmd. And we don't have, it doesn't have to be capital, because we don't want to export our subcommands really. And I'm going to be doing some pretty heavy duty things in Go here. So we're going to be grabbing, we're going to take we're going to take a reference to a bonsai dot command. And inside of here, so this is a thing, right? And by doing this, it automatically says, hey, I have this dependency when I saved it on it. And so then we're going to go here and we're going to go ahead and we're going to call it. Okay, so how do we get our program to run? Well, by using Bonsai. Bonsai's got an exec. We can use run or exec. Run, if we use run, then we also have to exec it. But what that means is we do cmd.run, exec, and that will just run the program. So, and we can actually get this. So we have to do go get -u, and that'll grab all the dependencies. It grabs down the latest Bonsai, and you'll see that is now in the go.mod file in here, and the go.sum file. That allows it, this is hard coded to that now, and we'd have to actually remove those if we want to update, or you can do go get -u. Walrus operator is normally used, but you cannot use the walrus operator within the package scope, which means the global kind of thing, right? You can't do it. It's not allowed for good reason. So you can only use the walrus operator with the equal sign. Here, I'll show you so you can see this error. You can always do this inside. It says non-declaration statements outside of functions. You can always use walrus operator inside of functions, and that's so that people are very explicit about their stuff. Yeah. So there we go. And but now, I mean, this will actually work, but it won't work, right? So we're gonna install it, and we're gonna say clip and enter, and it's a developer error, invalid name, because the name is empty, and I wrote that error in there. But so that means we have to have a name. So we have a name. You can read all these things by looking at the command, and as that I just did capital K in Vim, and that'll show you the entire structure and everything. You can read about it. You know, there's lots of things there that you can get. You know, when it's a struct like that, there's no documentation, so there's nothing to document. If you exec at K, it would actually give you the function command. It'll show you what it does. This is all documentation that I wrote a long time ago for run. I did a lot of work. Here's the complete C about how to do things. You know, on the Bonsai project, I spent a lot of time making really, really great documentation so that when you're in the middle of it, developing it, you can go look up stuff. Anyway, so what's our name? Let's make the name the same as the package in this case. And let's try it again. Let's build it. So let's go ahead and build it, and clip enter, and it says developer error. Clip requires do, def, or commands. So again, we're doing incremental development. I'm doing this on purpose. So we need do is a function that contains some work to be done. Def is the default command. So say there's another command. You could, if we had other commands defined, we could say I want to use this one by default. And commands is a list of other commands that are underneath it. And if you have that, you can do that. So the simplest of these things is obviously do. And we actually, Bonsai's got a special do, which is just called nothing. It's just a no op, and that just lets us, you know, get it to compile and run. It doesn't do anything, but you know, that if you're doing individual development, you might need that for some reason, particularly if you're making like subcommands. So like, let's actually make a subcommand, make a couple of subcommands. So we know from the program, so let's see. We know from the program that we've got several commands that we're going to be using here. We need, these are the commands, right? So we need dir, data, add, edit, help, list, and usage. Okay. Now let's go ahead and create stubs for these. What do I mean by stub? I mean, make a place to put those commands. So this is something that could eventually be automated with a macro or something, but for right now, we're just going to add it. So we're going to say, edit was one, you know, and quite frankly, I'm really tempted to like make a macro right now to do it, but I'm not. Let's just do this. Okay. So, all right. So we have, how many do we need? I'll just do a thing. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 6 of them because help and usage are going to be covered by something else I'll show you about. So we need 6. We need 6 of them. So I copied that, and then let's do 5p, and then I'll paste 5 of them. All right, so they're all pasted. All right, so let's go edit them. Edit. I need to see which ones we need though. Clip old. Did I get them all? Okay. All right, so here are we on the right one? Okay. So this one we can change it to dir. Oops. Dir data add. I mean, you could macro this, you know, you do you. List play. All right, so play is the default. All right, that's good. All right, so how do we make it so these commands are all a part of the bigger command, right? Well, let's change this one from do nothing to do something. Let's actually change it to CMD. CMDs. And this is a slice of bonsai references. Come on, Rob. And, you know, we can put these on their own line or not. Oh, wait, sorry. I think this is this. Yeah. Wrong, Rob. Derp. Okay. Yeah, edit's the top one. It's right here. So, and we just called them editor or whatever. We didn't call them CMD or anything because they're private. Now, if you wanted to be consistent, you could say dir CMD, you could say edit CMD. It's up to you. But in this particular case, I don't need any of that. I can just say edit. I can say dir. I can say what's another one? Data add list play. I think that's it, right? Edit dir data add list play. Okay, so all right, so we got them all, right? So and let's actually, while we're at it, let's go ahead and give it a default. So, well, we'll do that next. I want to keep this kind of incremental. This has already been an hour-long video. But so let's go ahead and do this. So now let's do GUI, and then we do clip, tab. Oh, wait, we're not getting any tabs. It's not happening. What? Because there's no completion by default. We have to enable completion. It is here, though. This is, you know, it supports edit. That's interesting. Did it actually install? Well, we can't really see anything. So we need to add some stuff because these other things aren't doing anything. Now, we could actually change these to say, you know, I wonder if we could we should put another dummy in there that actually just prints would have, bonsai wood. I'm going to add that right now, actually. I'm going to add it to the main thing. I'm editing bonsai itself right now. Like it takes a command periodic. Underscore is a no op. That means we're not going to do it. Bonsai wood. Bonsai wood, get it? So, if the length of args is greater than 0, mt println. Ah. God, I suck. I'm sucking today, like really bad. All right, here we go. So, we could do this. Var, wait. Would put semicolons because I've been doing Perl. Oopsie. Yeah, it's a join operator in there. Yeah, that's all we need. It doesn't need to be fancy. So screw the null. You guys can tell what I'm going to do here, right? I mean, it kind of goes without saying. God, I'm coding Perl. I've been coding Perl and Bash. I mean, Perl and POSIX for the last 3 days. There we go. Yeah. Now, this is kind of a fun thing. So let's say I want to test this and I don't want to commit this, right? Because I can't use from one module, can't use another module without changing it, right? I'd have to commit this and put it out onto the internet and everything, right? String interpolation, yeah, absolutely does. So how do I test this thing that I just changed? And this is actually a really common thing, particularly if you're developing multiple modules at the same time, which I tend to do a lot of. If you're doing multiple modules at the same time, this is more of an advanced topic, but I'm going to go ahead and do it right now. Go work init. Okay. And this allows me to add local code that can be used up there. So what I could say is say go work. When you have a go work, you almost always have to use go work use dot. And that's because when you're doing testing and stuff, it's not going to see that. It does have a string interpolation. Absolutely does. If you're thinking about f strings, no, but it does have printf. String f, printf, that's string interpolation. That is, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing as string. Okay, anyway. So go work use dot. But we can also do this, right? Since I know where it's at, so I know that up here is a bonsai, because all of my GitHub repos are in the same organization. Very important. Make sure you do that. Then I can do this. I can say go work use dot slash bonsai. And by doing this now, I have satisfied the dependency on bonsai. You see how it's requiring bonsai right up there, right? But when I put that in there, as long as that go work is active, it will use the local version anytime it sees a requirement for that module, even though it's not, it's been changed. Watch what I mean by that. By doing this now, that's not variable interpolation. I don't think that's string interpolation, if you ask me. We need to ask Chloe what string. Anyway, people are arguing about whether Go has string interpolation. Absolutely, you can definitely put other strings inside of strings all over the time, but it's usually a printf kind of thing. So anyway, let's go ahead and continue. So if we do GUI now, it'll rebuild it, but now we can actually use our newfangled stuff that we had. So let's change all these nothings to this new thing that I just changed. Yeah, so we can say wood. Okay, so we can say wood, bonsai wood. I do love that. All right, now it compiled. Okay, and let's see what it does. So now if we do clip, it says it doesn't do anything. But if I do edit, would edit, list, would list, right? Okay, that's kind of nice. Actually, I'm glad we added that. So, but let me show you what happens if we move that out of the way. By the way, don't ever commit a Go work file. Okay, so immediately, my friends, make sure you do this. Git ignore. There's already a standard git ignore when you're creating the repo. I know I thought about changing it to WOOD just to be funny. Should we do that just to be funny, or is that too kitschy? I can't. It's just too much. Maybe have an alias. Ooh, I like you. I like how you think. I like how you think. It's an Easter egg. You know how you do that? That's a great opportunity to teach something else. Yeah, it'd be an Easter egg. How do you make one function equal another one? Watch this. There you go, baby. Thank God I have awesome people in my chat. All right, so now what? Now let's go back and do it. Main.go. So yeah, bonsai would. Yeah, clip edit. Nice. Yeah, first class functions. Absolutely. In that particular case, it's actually a symbol assignment. Yeah, you could actually reassign, because it's a variable. You could reassign something else to it, because it is public. So you can make bonsai would do whatever. You know what's really cool about that? That somebody could actually define their own bonsai wood that takes over this one. Watch this. This is cool. This is fun. This is fun because it's a var. Watch this. So let's say you don't like the lowercase one, right? Before this program even runs, you can do func init, and you can say you want bonsai.wood to equal, excuse me, your own custom function. Now it has to match. This is the function signature, otherwise it won't work. So it has to take an arg, bonsai.cmd, and it has to take args as a string arg and return an error. But you can have it return whatever. You can have it return nil. Cannot use function bonsai would. What? Why? Because I'm doing something wrong. Oh, right here. Now it'll say, okay, good. Now I say fmt.print, and you could say would plus args 0. And we know that there's always going to be an argument there. We're not going to put it there. Josh Ramkin. Okay, so anyway, so here we go. We have arg0. So what I'm trying to say is we can like build it now, and we can say clip edit, and it would say, oh, uh-oh, what's going on there? It's not doing it right. I wonder why. Did it not build? This is interesting. I am fascinated by this. It's still running the old one. Why? I think this is because of first, okay, this is important to know. So the first thing that happens is all of the the package level variable assignment. That's the first thing. The second thing that happens is all of the inits. And the last thing that happens is the stuff in func main. That's the order of operations, or the order of whatever. So there's a problem here because this should be, you know what I think? I think we just discovered something really interesting, and I'm really glad we found this. The syntax that we use to assign this symbol to the other thing is used to define aliases at package scope. And I've often been concerned about that, meaning that other things could take over. And it appears that that's not true. It appears that that's not true. And that's actually really good. I'm really glad we figured that out. Go is just go install. So I learned something today. You know what? I'm really glad too, because I was actually, I have been running falsely under the assumption, because I mean, obviously people don't do this all the time, right? It's not common to alias things like this. So what this means is that unlike other variables that are assigned at package scope level, that when you assign a reference to another function, it appears that you cannot override it. And that's actually good. That's good. That's a safer thing. But I got to prove the hypothesis to myself right now. Because if we take it out of init, if we take this out of init and we do this assignment in main, we absolutely know that that this assignment is going to happen well before the rest of the stuff is going to happen. So let's do that. And no, it's still there. That is super fascinating to me. I totally learned something today. Yeah, I'm really glad we experimented with that. Maybe it's because I've been coding so much Perl. So my Perl classes program lets you just directly edit the symbol table, and it's awesome and powerful and super dangerous because you can literally make it do anything. This is not allowing me to assign. It's almost like, I think I'm curious about is why isn't it making one more try? I gotta know. I gotta know. Is it not doing it? No, it is absolutely not doing it. Look at that. It's not doing it. But it's also not yelling at me. That is so freaking weird. I'm super editing. I gotta know. This is like really interesting to me. So I'm gonna go down this rabbit hole for a bit. I hope it's relevant to you guys too, but yep, there it goes. Limit index out of range. All right, that's because it can't see the args. It's still callable. That's what I find so fascinating about this. You know what it is? It's the reference to the pointer. I was just going to say, Phil got it at the same time. Yeah. It's the reference. The reference is hard coded at compile time. So we can't change the reference. That is so cool. That is really, really, really cool to me. That's exactly what's going on. So even though it's valid for you to change it, those functions that these things down below, these references are to Bonsai Wood. Those references are made way before runtime. They're made at compile time, which is the reason to use Bonsai, by the way. Okay, so one of the fundamental reasons to use Bonsai is that there's no runtime. There's almost no runtime hit at all. Cobra has a tremendous runtime hit. It has to do all of its massaging and everything at runtime. And you could argue that there is an advantage to like dynamically create the arguments list and stuff like that. But no, so we've just actually witnessed the difference here. So the difference here is that when we've defined it like this, this is an assignment. That's the thing I find interesting. This is an assignment. So, but this assignment is happening after init time, before init time. This assignment is happening before. Oh snap, people! Oh snap! I think I know what I can do. I think I can do it. I just figured it out. I'm sorry. I'm like having so much fun geeking out on this. We got to do it at init time, straight up in package space. And then it will be before, but okay, because variable definitions happen in order that they appear in the file. Yeah, and this happens before init. So the fact it was in init meant that it didn't get hit earlier. This is going to work. Yeah, this is actually, that's why I didn't throw an error. Yeah, this is going to work. I'm telling you, this is definitely going to work. I just have to figure out how to make. Do I say var? Bar bonsai wood. My wife's coming home. I gotta hurry. I know what can be done. We just have to figure out how. What's going on with my? It's like one of the worst things about Vim. It just screws up your screen. I don't like that. This is doable. This is total. No, you can't do function assignment. You can't do anything with assignment at. Yes, you can. You can totally do this. Oh, it's some other error. It expects a type. Huh, I think it has to be a symbol. You know what? I think I can do this. I think I can still do it. Well, I know it can't be, but watch, I know this can be done. So I'm pretty sure. The difference is we have to do this. We have to say, I think we have to do this. I think we have to say my wood. And then we say bonsai wood equals my wood. Non-declaration statements aside functions. Oh, it's an assignment, so it can't happen. Interesting. Did I delete main? I didn't. Did I delete main? When did I delete main? There is no main. Did I really delete main? I'm playing with my head. I still don't think this is going to work though. Yeah, let's add main back. Sorry guys. This is like really fun though. So I wonder if it'll let me do this. CM data exec. Yeah, it just doesn't like it. I think I don't know. I think we I mean, this is kind of, I know it's not everybody's thing, but I definitely want to see about this. Well, this will definitely run. All right, so I want to come back to this though. I think we could do func. I think the assignment is still gonna, the assignment to the other package can't happen unless it's in an init. That's what I think it is. Yeah. This assignment is going to fail, but I can do it in here. But the question is, will this update the other references that happened at variable time? The main is the third, that's the latest in the runtime. And exec, even though exec gets called, the pointers have been hard coded in the assignment through the declaration before. Yeah, that's actually really, really cool. I really love that. Some people would consider that a negative. I don't at all. I really like that a lot. So, but I thought for sure, I thought we were going to be able to customize it. I guess not. So yeah, because down here, let's try it. So if this were to work, equals, why would, all right. So first class function there. I mean, that'll work, but it's not going to give you what you want because it's got the other pointer reference still. The pointer reference has been assigned. That's happened way before this time. Now, if I overwrite it, so like if I do this, if I were to say, I mean, I could do it. So this is why it's probably not giving an error, because I can do this. I can say edit dot cmd equals my wood. I can do this at runtime before I call exec. Edit dot do. I can do this. Now that will change the behavior. That should change it. And yep, it does. Because yeah. I mean, I obviously got an error here, but actually let's change this. Let's change this to x dot name. This is I'm enjoying this. I hope you guys are. There you go. Wood edit. So you see how I didn't do an ln there? You guys know about this, right? This needs to be an ln. And then we'll do clip edit. All right. So that's why it didn't throw an error. The reason it didn't throw an error is it's still possible. You can still do it. It's just not going to take it over for everything, because the assignment to the pointer at the state at variable assignment time, which is the earliest time in runtime, which I believe is still runtime though, actually. I do believe that is still runtime though. Well, no, this is declaration. This isn't assignment at all. Or is it? No, this is assignment. This is runtime. This part isn't, right? So this part right here, that gets compiled way before the thing, and then it gets assigned. So I think this would be really interesting to dig into, but I know most of you don't care. We're going on 2 hours on this video, so I'm going to go ahead and stop right now, but that's been a good start for how to get bonsai working and get the scaffolding ready. I'm personally super curious. I think when I said that bonsai doesn't do stuff at runtime, I actually think it does, but I think that there are other things that are done at compile time. So I do think that, I mean, the fact that there's an assignment happening right here means that this assignment is happening at runtime. It's just the very, very, very first thing that happens at runtime. Very first. And that's why changing bonsai wood at init time, which comes right after, assignment time, that's why it's not working, because when that happens, by the time init gets to it, it's already been assigned. It's the wrong thing. And then the third thing that happens is main. And the reason main is able to undo the stuff that was done during assignment time is because that's running before. That's the latest in runtime. I didn't anticipate this being kind of a runtime order, workflow video, but this is actually really good for you to see. In case you're wondering which init, you can have multiple inits in a file or several files, and it's lexicographical order for the different inits. Use of init is kind of an anti-pattern unless you're doing it for really, really important things like initializing a SQL device driver or something like that ahead of time before everybody. And so, I mean, it's a pretty advanced topic, but it's been kind of fun to go through it. I still don't think that there's any way to do this assignment. You cannot do assignment to other packages at assignment time. That has to be init time. There's runtime and then there's runtime. Yeah. so yeah. Yeah. I think a lot more of the stuff is compiled. So for example, no, I can't say that for sure. I don't know. I should probably shut up on that. But this is not going to happen. The reason is because we're trying to assign to another package, and that would be completely out of order, right? Because we haven't even got that package into the namespace yet at that point. So So that is not doable. This is, however, so yeah, I guess you can take over what those different things do, but you'd have to go in and assign. I'd have to do this for every single one. It is kind of interesting though, but this is something that people who do JavaScript and other things know about. They're not, strictly speaking, they are first class functions, but they lose track of the method they're associated with. So you see what I'm saying? So it's like, this is why the signature on these things is that its first argument is a reference to a bonsai command, because when you do first class functions, you can't do method composition like you can do in JavaScript. So JavaScript, if you assign to a method, essentially, it becomes a part of the object. It becomes something that actually can operate on itself, and you can't do that. That's impossible in Go. The closest thing in Go that you can do to that is by either embedding a struct, which we're not going to do at all, or you can pass as the first argument the thing. Yeah, and then that thing, in every other way, it operates the same way. And then that way you can create a library of functions that when it gets called, and you guys will see later, like you can still call edit.do and it'll do the thing. The ironic thing is, if you were to try to call edit.do here, you'd have to do this. You'd have to do edit.do, and in this case, you'd have to pass edit, right? Because edit is an instance, and then the arguments. And that, some people complain about that. They don't like that. They think that that's a flaw in Go. I got to admit that does kind of rub me the wrong way. If everything is an object in JavaScript, yeah, it depends on how you define object, but yeah. So this is actually something that does kind of annoy me. Perl gets around this, believe it or not, with the bless. Python does have the same limitation. You cannot create a method. I'm pretty sure. In Python, can you do that? I don't think you can. I don't think you can take over the behavior of a method, specifically a method in Python. You can't do that. The closest thing you can do is you can like pass a thing. So. But the reason they don't do that is because they say that you can define it as an interface, and then you can embed something else and add the method that implements the additional to part of the interface, and then that's how you get around it. That's how you get around it with interfaces. But yeah, patching. Really, this is what we're talking about doing. Can you patch a method? Can you monkey patch? And you can't. Go does not let you monkey patch at all. You can get pretty damn close, but you can't monkey patch. The closest to this would be you would have to encapsulate the command object and with an extra method, and then that method would be the thing. And that's not at all monkey patching. First of all, it can't happen in real time. It would be interesting to see what Jim Copleen has to say, Mr. True Object-Oriented Programming versus Class-Oriented Programming. I'd be interested to see what he has to say about Go. I imagine he wouldn't like it because of that, because you can't, because he really likes JavaScript because you can, as he says, you just might be able to code in objects, and because you can change the behavior at real time, which some people think is a horrible, disastrous thing. I don't. I think it's amazing, and I kind of wish Go had it. Does anybody know? Does Rust have that? I don't think Rust has that, does it? JavaScript has it. That's the only language I know. I'm going to ask Chloe what she thinks. Which languages can redefine their object methods at runtime? They don't have it. Hey, Pepper, how you doing? Rust doesn't have it. Most languages don't, because it's considered insecure to change the behavior of a thing while it's running still. And Funk Tools lets you do this, really? Let's see. Python allowed method to be dynamic when placed and added at runtime. Okay. Object equals my class, new greet, Equals degree get object, bind the new method. Okay, so you got object binding and there. Ruby, I know Ruby can do it because Ruby lets you like, I used to code a lot of Ruby and that I know, I forgot about that one completely. JavaScript I know does it. Perl I know does it, absolutely does it. I do it all the time. You just rebless it. I wrote an entire classes pragma that does the same thing. PHP I imagine probably does a small talk. What? Smalltalk lets you redefine method definitions. Somebody tell the Primogen he needs to learn Smalltalk this year. he was asking what language to learn. Smalltalk, baby. The first object-oriented language on the planet. I want to learn Smalltalk big time now. After I saw this, my class compile equals, this allows you to this makes sense because Alan himself, it was Alan Kay who invented object-oriented programming, not class-oriented programming. The GOAT. I had no idea. Dude, I really want to learn Smalltalk now. I got a chill down my back. I want to learn Smalltalk big time because this is true object-oriented programming. Smalltalk is one of the most dynamic languages allowing full method redefinition at runtime. What? By doing Zig. Yeah, that's good. Zig and C, that's a good pick for him. Yeah, I love C. And Zig is a good pairing for Zig. That's funny he would pick Zig. Zig and Nim, those are my two favorite C macro languages. Lua lets you redefine functions. No way. Common Lisp, where he says the core idea was not objects but message passing. Yes, absolutely message passing. Amen, brother. Lisp, of course, Lisp lets you do it. That's a given. Languages that restrict runtime, C++, Java, and Go. Methods are bound in compile time. Rust methods are statically. You know what? This is interesting. This is very, very interesting. Can you write Smalltalk and compile it to? Is there statically compiled Smalltalk yet? Is there statically compiled Smalltalk? I wonder if it has it. You can do these tricks with PowerShell too, I'm sure. Well, the fact that the PowerShell is an object-oriented language. And when I say object-oriented language, it's really important that you guys understand. I am not talking about class-oriented programming. I'm talking about object-oriented, true object-oriented programming. And for this reason, Go cannot claim, absolutely, Go cannot claim that it is an object-oriented language, even in the minimalist sense, because it doesn't allow the dynamic changing of assignment of methods. And that is a fundamental definition of what object-oriented programming is, according to Alan Key, who made Smalltalk, which is why I'm interested in Smalltalk. Squeak, JIT compiler, Smalltalk implementations, JIT compiler, strong talk, high-performance Smalltalk implementation with emphasis static typing, implementing compatibility with Smalltalk's dynamic features. God, I think I would probably really, really like Smalltalk. Yeah. I think I'd probably really like PowerShell too. If I could get over this stuff that's going on. Hey, Hacking, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for that follow. Description Smalltalk X is Smalltalk implementation provides interactive runtime environment. Static compilation supports ahead of time compilation for generic native code. GNU Smalltalk. Description of GNU Smalltalk. Why isn't anybody writing anything in Smalltalk in 2025? What's the problem? Statically compiled Smalltalk is rare. Yeah, I figured. Dude, I would be totally down with like a statically compiled modern Smalltalk. That would be awesome. I mean, I love Go. I absolutely love it. But what's that? You can redefine methods and plugins by passing methods and configure nothing with the program. Right. Because Lua. Right? Yeah. No, I think that's amazing. That's amazing. I think if you're going to have a dynamic language, right? If you're going to have a dynamic language or a statically compiled dynamic-ish language, then you definitely need to be able to swap out methods. And, you know, good programmer here. Yeah. Let's raise this Smalltalk. She was like, I could really get into some Smalltalk. Now that I know, first of all, Smalltalk is the original object-oriented programming created by the creator of object-oriented programming at, Xerox, Palo Alto. It's a good source like PowerShell is a month's lunch about PowerShell. I think, people were asking about, well, what languages should we learn to learn about things? I think if you wanted to truly learn, this, I got Jim in my head. Jim Copeland is one of my biggest fans. You guys, speaking of fans, wait, here's Jim. Here's Jim. Wait. Clip old list. Oh, damn it. What did I call it? Damn it.
Java is the only language in which you cannot do object-oriented programming.
That's Jim. Did you see the thing on the screen? The screen has the creator of Smalltalk. The creator of Smalltalk, it's his exact quote.
Java is the only language in which you cannot do object-oriented.
Pause. Okay, I got to pause it. So, PowerShell is really deep. I have no doubt. That's one of the things that I find interesting about PowerShell, honestly. Hey, how you doing, grandson? Why would you put a picture of yourself with no shirt on like that? To get the chicks? More power to you. I will quote. You know what? There's a quote from one of my favorite movies. It's called Happy-ish. It's like, you gotta understand, I was a triathlete. I got pictures just like that. And it's like, how much do you have to hate yourself to look like that all the time? Anyway, there's some random YouTuber commenting right now. I'm responding to that. Oh, and it got saved in my video. Damn it. Anyway, guys, here we go. Pickett and others work on the base forms that children thought is this fairly convincing argument for believing that computers are an almost ideal medium for the expression of a child's epistemology. What is an operational model, if not an algorithm, a procedure for accomplishing a goal? Algorithms are fairly informal and not necessarily logical, consistent. This fits in well with a child's viewpoint of the world, which is global and interested in structure rather than strict implications of truth. So Alan Kay, who created Smalltalk, looked at children and how they grasped the world in order to design true object-oriented programming, and object-oriented programming lost its way. It totally lost its way. And this is Jim yelling about it because it angers him tremendously. So yeah. Yes. Anyway, so
Programming.
This is, do we have any JavaScript programmers here? If you do, you have a chance to code in objects. And the reason is because of this dynamic nature of it, which all started because we were doing Go stuff, right? All of this sidetrack and quest came about because we were doing objects. And what I was trying to show you is that Go does not do objects at all. It is calling it an object. You do have embedded, you have encapsulation of some things, you have delegation, you have composition, you have lots of great things. You do not have objects, and you cannot use the word objects. Using the word object is, technically you shouldn't use the word object in Java. You should use class in Java, according to Jim and Alan, the creator of object-oriented programming. The only object-oriented languages are the ones that allow the methods to be redefined at runtime. Period. That's it. And that's why I did that little dive, because this is why. Look at how annoying this is, right? I'm actually a huge fan of JavaScript. I am. I think it's great. I do. I really like it. I just wish it didn't have all the warts. Yeah. So anyway, my wife's probably going to be home here pretty soon. So I'm going to pause the video for now, and then I'm going to give her a call really quick and see where she's at. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. We're back. It's almost 2 hours into this video, so thank you for hanging with us. Hopefully it's been somewhat educational for you. I realize it's a long video. I told you it was a long form. And we're done with this. So let's go back to what we have done. I mean, we really didn't do anything significant other than play around with how to run the thing. So let's recap. We've got exec here. This is where the main work happens, and then it calls into the command which does the delegation and handles completion and a bunch of other stuff. It doesn't have any completion in it right now because we haven't added any. So let's do that before we go. So I run clip now and it's not doing anything. Clip edit and it'll do would edit and all of that. What was the other one? List, right? But what we can't do yet is we can't tab and complete. It's not completing. So let's add completion. We'll go to main.go and we're going to add what's called a completer. And I'm not making these puns on purpose. They're just impossible not to make. So we're going to say a completer. So it's comp. I'm going to say completer, and we're going to use one of the Bonsai standard completers. We're going to do, in this case, CMDs. So actually, if you do this, I think it's this bonsai.comp. Yeah. Bonsai.comp. No, we want, what am I talking about? Oh God, I'm so sorry, guys. Here we go. Now we want to get, we can get commands and commands aliases. We're just going to do commands. All right. And call it a day. Okay. So we've got commands. And by doing this, it'll actually automatically go out and find, this will go out and find the completers library. We have there's a package of completers that you can automatically pick from, and we still need to get them. We need to go get them, but so there you go. So that says that this command now has completion, and if we go get -u to grab our latest, it'll grab the completer, which has a lot of dependencies. You know, you can't get away with dependencies when you're using completion because there's a lot of other little things you got to use for that. You'll notice, however, that all those dependencies are in the Bonsai library, which is now that's already a thing. Yeah. So if you can make your own completer if you want, and that's actually going to be a part of coding from the get-go. We will write our own persister and our own completer as a thing. But what I did want to put a plugin for the rest of the Bonsai stuff. You'll notice all those other sub packages are not level 1.0 yet. They're always constantly under development, but there's a huge library of stuff that you probably need if you're, especially if you're doing terminal development. So have a look in that. If something's not covered, let us know. Maybe make a change, maybe add something to it. But the point of Bonsai is to make it really easy to make command line sorts of things. So now when we do go, we should get clip, tab. Now, if you were doing this, that wouldn't do anything. And that's because you need to do this. You need to do complete -C clip. And then once you do that, clip will do its own completion. And how it does the completion, everything is taken care of for you behind the scenes. If you start typing in the beginning, like a D, and hit tab, and it goes down to the ones that it's got, and it'll give you that, and it'll say what data, DI tab, and gives the word dirt. Okay. So that's the advantage. And quite frankly, this is the main reason that I'm doing this in Go instead of Perl. Not because Perl is an ancient old, dead boomer language, but because of completion. Self-completion is already integrated in Bonsai or Cobra or any number of other things. And so that's why I'm choosing to do this. All right. So we go in here. Now, completion doesn't happen by default. You have to explicitly say that. We debated about that a lot, about whether we were going to do that. So now we've got all of these things. We've got all of our scaffolding ready. How much can we get done in the meantime? How about we get our play to work? We need to, I don't know, we're going to need to parse. We need to do a couple of different things. Well, the first thing, let's see here. I'm wondering if we want to actually add our own persister and use one of the existing persistence layers instead of this. And persistence is when you save key value pairs in a database in a file someplace. And let's look at the data format. So this is the current value of the data format. And it is actually a multi-field. It's structured data, but it is a custom structure. And so the question is, should we not do this? The reason it was done this way is because we were parsing it with bash, and so we didn't have. The preference here is to be able to fork off an editor and let people go in and edit the file and make the changes themselves. That is the reason, by the way, that it's not even really a delimited format, right? We got the spaces here, and then we have the commas here. And the reason for that is because we can split on space the first time, and then we can split on comma the second time. And because, the comma delimited stuff over here is not necessarily required. It doesn't have to all be there. Obviously this is probably not, the best format for this. I think now that we are using Go, we probably want to play around with a different format here. So let's actually copy data to new data. What would it look like, right? So we have to make a choice here. We can continue to use this existing format and write our own persister that knows how to read and write it, or we can convert the format to one of the supported persister formats, which include Java properties, which are same compatible with env, the key equals value. We could use JSON, we could use YAML, we could use comma delimited or delimited format. All of these are things that are currently supported in the different persistent. There's a whole bunch of persister packages that are already in Bonsai. And so we had to pick one. I'm of the opinion that space delimited is probably going to be the best one. If we make it so that the names have to be, solid words, which I think they probably should be, then we can probably get away with changing it into be space delimited, which is, pretty common out there. It's not a horrible format. It's just really weird. It's weird. It's unusual, but it's also kind of shell-like, right? It's designed for shell usage, and we did it really quickly. But I think just a good old space delimited format is the way to go here. And is for one thing, and the last builds are used for another, right? So and that's why it was done that way. I don't think we should probably keep that. The reason is because I want to do things like my fields command, which I'll show you guys in a bit. And I quite frankly, I think field separation is the thing. Let's go look at the persisters under Bonsai for a second. So if you go into the Bonsai project, wait, what? Wait, is this the Bonsai project? Yeah. So, okay. So if we go into Bonsai, we have a set of persisters in here. And we have a persist in JSON, we have a persist in mem, and we have in props and in YAML. Quite honestly, I don't know why we call them that. I call them that. I think it was originally persist, and therefore it was like persist.in YAML. We put in front because I didn't want to have package breaks with other stuff. That's why I did that. I remember now. Never mind. Yeah, because JSON and YAML are already standard packages that are used all over. So, did I put a dot there on accident? So anyway, JSON's not an option here. I want it to be editable by hand, and JSON sucks for that. It really does. I mean, it's just too much extra work. I think space delimited is the way to go. I'm starting to think we don't have a space delimited persister, so I need to make it in Bonsai, and that'll be fun to write. How do you differentiate between commands and files? .go at the end. Maybe too fast, self-inflicted typo. So did I break something already? Oh, whoopsie daisy. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the catch. We need to actually, this is cool because we're going to be able to make a persister here for that. So that's good to know. So let's like outline the scope of work here. We're going to need to make a delimited persister. And the only problem with a delimited persister is that it's not a key value pair combination. And the persisters that I have currently, you know what? I don't think we're going to be able to use the persistor. So, my friends, the persistor interface, let me show you. You guys don't know about interfaces yet, but let me show you what they are. The persistor interface is a way to save key value pairs. It's primarily designed for environment variable type configuration, things like that. And key value pairs, Redis, all of that. And so it's not, it's the interface itself is not defined. Here, let me see if I can find one. You have the default persistor. Here's the persistor interface. So the persistor has to have setup, get, and set. That's it. And the whole point of the persistor interface in terms of how it works with Bonsai, it's not meant to be a database. It's meant to be a key value store so that all of these different commands can share key value properties and stuff. And just look them up easily, right? So, and it's a pretty amazing magic going on. So like if you can set up a variable to be pulled out of the environment, I won't get to if the environment variable exists. If it doesn't, go look at the persistence layer. It's pretty cool stuff, but I'm just realizing right now that it's not relevant because it's always key value pair organized, right? There's no multi-field sort of thing. So we are going to have to write our own, we're going to need to write our own stringer for this and probably our own marshaller, which is fantastic. This is actually a really great opportunity to show you some of Go's best things. And I didn't really plan that, obviously. So, is there already something coded that does this? Yes, absolutely. There's already 1,000,000,001, space delimited parsers, right? But what we can do, there's a couple things we can do here. And this is actually good to talk about. I don't know how much we're going to get into it tonight, but we could actually, open up the file and read through it and actually take each one of those lines of the file and copy them and parse them all out and split them up and then put them into the variables. Or we could do it the Go way. The Go way to do this is to create a struct and then to create a marshal and unmarshal method for each of those types. And then to encapsulate the entire struct, and then with one command, do unmarshal. And the unmarshal will inflate the entire expanded struct with everything into it. So this is a really great opportunity to learn some of Go's best things that are Go specific. These are very, very Go specific. There are other languages, and everybody always asks, and I did too, like, where's the JSON parse? There isn't one. There's an unmarshal, and there's this idea of marshaling and unmarshaling. It's core to the language of Go. And my dinner is about to get started too, Kolka. So what do I mean by marshaling and unmarshaling? This is an extremely advanced topic. It's not really advanced. You could make it binary. We don't need binary in this case. If you were doing this in Rust, you'd be picking up Saturday at this point and working with Tommel. By the way, I made the Tommel logo and I worked with Burnt Sushi on some of the testing, and Tom Pelletier, who wrote one of the best Tommel parsers for Go. I wrote a bunch of test code for his code. So I've got a lot of experience doing parsing and stuff like that. But what are we going to do here? We're going to do it the Go style. We're not going to make it a binary. There's no reason to make it binary. Why? Because we want people to be able to go in there and edit the file. And, even if they had like 1,000 entries in this file, it would still be less than a nanosecond to parse the whole thing. So I personally don't see a need, especially if we do marshaling. I don't see a need to go with a binary seekable address like they did sort of like in the Fortune. You know what I just played with the other day though? I played with let's just explore this just for a little bit. So Fortune, you guys know about Fortune, right? So let me show you something interesting. This is in the old days when things took time and energy and people didn't do shit because it was too hard to do. So I was like preparing a bunch of Mr. Robot. This is ancient boomers tech. This is, by the way, what my AI generated. So this is how you make Fortune files, right? So you delimit the file with a %, And then, but that's not done. You have to convert it into a DAT file. Otherwise it won't work. Right. And the DAT file is a seekable database of stuff. They're using the str file thing, which honest to God, I didn't even know it existed until yesterday or like 3 days ago. So create a random access file for storing strings. So the thing that's cool about this is that, because it's a random access file and the things are, you know, they're organized in such a way that they're highly structured, you can seek into the file without having to parse the whole file. So it's not a database, but it's the next best thing. It's a seekable file that you can randomly look at a position in the file. So you can just pick a random number and go through that file and then go to that location within the file. It's not indexed at all. You know, and I've thought about doing like B trees or something. There are, you know, SQLite, you know, it just depends on how big of a database you want to go. And we need to make a decision here because, you know, how many clips are you going to have? You know, if you've got, you know, modern computers can parse that simple flat file in milliseconds. I mean, nanoseconds. So, you know, certainly faster than it would take to load the file and start it to play. That's not the bottleneck. The bottleneck's going to be something else. So the question, we need to make an architectural decision here. We need to say, do I reach for a database or not? Right? Obviously, I'm not going to reach for Redis database or something like that. And this is actually a really key part of you know, system, you know, software developer engineering is it's like, when do you reach for another complex tool? When do you bloat a project in order to get the benefits of that thing? And, you know, I would tend to say that until it is needed, you don't even think about it. Me inserts get on with it clip. No, that's what I'm telling you right now. So do we need to make a DAT file or not? This is what I'm trying to tell you, my friends. So what do you think? Should we make a DAT file or not? I don't think we should. I think we're just going to parse the script, okay? We're going to parse the file, and we're going to do it that way and call it a day. We can't, I mean, if we went with YAML, we would get the parsing for free. So should we do the YAML for free? If we go with YAML, if we go with YAML, we've already incurred like a huge overhead, but now we're already, you know, it's already supported. That's definitely the fastest way to do this development, and it's also standard. That would mean we'd have to change our file. Now, obviously I didn't do YAML in the bash one. Why? Because I didn't have a library at my fingertips, and I didn't want to call out to YQ the whole time. You know what I'm saying? So, although now that I think about it, probably not that bad of a thing to do. I think we should probably use YAML. I think you're right. I think we should probably use YAML. So the reason that YAML will work is that other people can integrate with their things rather than, if we make a specific struct and a specific marshal or unmarshaller for our particular comma delimit, for our space delimited thing, then no other tool is going to be able to do it. Do you know what I mean? No other tool is going to be able to use that thing. But if we use YAML, we instantly get compatibility with everything that exists. So YAML it is. Actually, we can actually edit the file with YAML. No, not libsql. No, we're going to make it YAML. I think we should use YAML. Some of you want a database. Some of you want YAML. What are the regrets points for YAML? The regret points for YAML would be size. So the way this file is organized right now, the parser that we would write would be way, way faster than YAML. YAML is so slow. YAML is designed for configuration files of a particular size. And once you get past a certain point, it gets really slow to parse it because it has so many rules that it has to do. And so, you know, that's the kind of thing that we'd have to do after that. Yeah, the flat text file, as goofy as the format was. So I think you guys talked me out of YAML, actually. I think you talked me out of YAML. Because even though we're giving up compatibility for other people to edit the thing, we haven't really written a complicated, it's not that complicated of a thing. You know what? Let's actually export the function for parsing it so that other people can write code that does it. How about that? That is something we want to export. So let's say, remember we said, hey, we were just going to make it all private command and we're not going to export anything. Let's do this. Let's say, okay, we are going to not use YAML or JSON. We're going to use our own format, but we're going to export and we're going to make public the code to parse that and the structure so that if you want to create your own compatible tool that talks to these kind of files, you'll already have that code written for you. How about that? Let's do that. Okay, so that means we've now got a package, all right? And we can't put a package in main. It just can't be done. So now we have to make a decision about the organization for our project. Because at this point, as soon as we are starting to put package code out there, I could do simply this. I could do pkg and put this here, and I could simply put all of the package stuff there, and then the main program could be at the top. But as soon as you add a pkg directory, it's kind of like, it's kind of common to put the main directory under CMD, right? So I think we're going to probably switch this over. JSON's much faster at parsing than YAML. Yeah, it definitely is. It's ridiculously fast. JSON's very fast, but you can't edit it by hand. And the whitespace limited files are faster than JSON for parsing, and they're more easy to edit by hand. So they still win. Okay, JSON's for sissies. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and make a CMD directory. And it's not, this doesn't take that much time to write by hand. No, because we're just splitting it. It's just a simple split. It's going to be really easy. Okay, so we created a CMD directory and a package directory. Okay, so now we're kind of playing by the real rules, right? So, do we really want to do this though? I kind of feel like, look, there's no law that says you have to have a CMD directory. There's nothing wrong with having the top level package be the command itself and having the packages that it depends on under PKG. But generally speaking, people looking at this will be like, what the hell, right? So I'm going to keep the top level of the package, and then we're going to go that way. Okay. So we cannot put our exported functions for parsing the structs and those things. We cannot put them in main because they won't export. You cannot export anything from main, period. That's really important that you understand that. So under PKG, we have to decide, well, we need to give it a name because the package is going to take on the name of the thing that it's underneath it. So, if we have clip PKG, what we can do, we can actually cheat here, and we can actually make the PKG subdirectory have a file in it that's called clip.go, and we can give it the package name is clip. Okay, and the thing that's really cool about this is watch how pretty it is. So let's actually give it a symbol. I mean, we can just do anything here. I could say, let's give it a struct. Actually, let's make a struct type. What do we want to call it? Video. Type video struct. And what's the first thing in the struct? Let's just call it a clip. Clip dot video. Because clip source. We should say source, or should we say source? Clip dot source or clip dot video. I think video is probably fine. So video. What are the fields? The first field is the name, and it's a string. And then what's the next field? The next field is the sound volume. Volume is an int, and then we have I think it's a file name, right? We're gonna say file is a string, and then we have the I guess start, and the start is a number in seconds, so it's not an int, it's a fraction, it's a float. So we say float 64. Because it's got fractional seconds in it. And then we've got, we have the duration. I don't think there is author. There's Yeah, we could put that in there. So for duration, it's also a float 64. So we have fractional seconds. Okay. So, and we're going to come back to some other stuff here. The thing that's really cool about this is once we convert it, if somebody wants to save it out to JSON, it's just super easy to do. If somebody wants to export this file to JSON, they can definitely do that. All right, so that's the video. And then we have another type, and we'll call this type videos. And videos is a bunch of references to a video. Okay, this is all we need to do the marshaling and unmarshaling. But let's actually try to use this. So from in here, let's see which one is going to do the parsing. Okay, so let's do list. So list is going to need a function here. Now if we wanted to, we can put all of these in their own files. We could call into some different things. I mean, right now we're just going to dive right in and say func, and we don't need, I don't think we need, do we need the arguments? List is like everything, right? So we don't need any arguments, and we don't need either of them. So we have to declare them, but we don't need to give them identifiers. So the first one is a bonsai.cmd, and then we just have a string. And you see how they don't have identifiers? When you don't have identifiers, you have to have no identifiers. And as soon as we have to use one identifier, we can do it, and we return nil. And we'll say to do here. All right, so and there's a comma here because this is actually a key value pair, and you have to have a comma on every key value pair in Go. Yeah, there's no annotation needed actually. We will do annotations later. You're talking about the off to the side. Yeah, not yet, because I want to put the JSON marshalling stuff over there as well. So yeah. So what do we got here? We have now. The reason I want to show you this is because if we use the if we use the other thing, right? So if we use the what am I saying here? If we say, well, let's just declare a video. I just want to show you what it's going to do. So if we say vid, and we even declare a type of video, we could say that it's a clip.video, right? Now you see how it found it. Now to get that to shut up for now, I'm just going to assign it to the no op, or to the no whatever. But see what it did. This is actually a kind of a cool idiom, is by having it under PKG but still having the package name. This is I didn't know this for years. For years, I thought that the directory name had to match specifically and exactly the name of the package. It absolutely does not need to do that. And any modern editor will automatically infer the name of the package from there. And the reason that that's nice is because in the old days when I didn't know what I was doing, I would have done this. Right? I would have put it under clip, and I would have had that stuttering, which is actually in the Go style manual, thou shalt not stutter, and you don't need it. So this just distinguishes, so you can see right away from the URL that, it's a PKG. This is the package clip PKG, and that means, so therefore the top level is the thing. Now, the reason I didn't want to do the command as well, and on this particular one, is because in order to use the command, it would be command clip just like that. And that's what they'd be doing, go install, blah, 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 right? I would have to make them do that, and I don't want to do that. So we're just going to keep the main package at the top, so the go install is nice and pretty, but the PKG is, is kind of informed. But you can say, oh, okay, because we can't just use clip because clip's already been taken for the command itself, which is the main, that's the main event here. All right, so what we got down here? So we've got the use of a video right here, but how are we going to parse the thing? All right, so that gets into all of that. Stuttering is when stuttering is when your package name, you have two identifiers that are the same thing right next to each other. So you have like, it usually happens like when you create a sub package that, is an interface, for example, and then you implement one of the interfaces in it, and then you have thing. That's stuttering. And context.context, I opened an issue and they closed it on me because they made context.context a requirement for all things in Go that use context. I think it's one of the biggest failures of the entire team they've ever done. It's absolutely stupid. It's totally ass backwards stupid. And whatever. Anyway, so that's neither here nor there. I have no control over that. I said my piece. All right. So the first thing we want to do here is to test this kind of thing. So now that we're in a package land, we can start writing unit tests, because unit tests are the only way to test the stuff in the package, because you can't run it unless, it's really hard to test if you're going to compile it into a program and then run it. You got to have a container and all kinds of things to test it. And you can do that. You need to sometimes. But in this particular case, we're going to start writing our test code for this. So what do we want this thing to do? Well, what do we want it to do is we want it to take that test code. So let's go we're going to need that data again. So where's that data? We're going to put that data in here, and we're going to put it in a very special directory called called test data. Test data is a special directory that is not recursed during compilation, and it has to be named that for sure. TDD before single line of code. Hell yeah. We've written lots of code. What are you talking about? So that's literally how you run your code. So we got to put this data in the test data directory. The problem is the test data is not what we want, right? We want this test data to be all, now we could do this. What do you guys think? Should we keep it 100% compatible with the bash version of the script, or should we actually make it we should probably just make it space delimited. It's so much easier to split it that way. It'd be one command instead of two. Yeah. So, okay. So let's do this. This is not hard, people. So I'm going to do some PAE on this. Yeah, let's do this. Okay. I gotta show you some cool stuff. Yeah, I know we're not, we're going to change it. We're going to make it a space limited. PPAE underscore data. Okay. So that just gives us the data. This is where I get to show you my Perl stuff. Perl is so awesome. You think we should keep it compatible? Why should we keep it compatible? You guys think we should keep it? That's like 3 votes for keeping it compatible. You want to keep it compatible because you think other people have made them and maybe out there. I mean, I'm down with it. It's super easy to change the spaces. The only reason it would be better to have it be spaces, it'll parse faster. Actually, you know what? I think we could use split. Here, let me see something. I can use both and compare. Let's just use this one. I just want to show you how easy it is to change, though. Okay, so to change this, all you have to do, so this is like, basically cat, and then you can just do this. You can change the spaces like this. I mean, you could have done it with TR too, right? There. Oops. I have to put that in a thing, of course. All right, that's it. And all I have to do to save that is put an I here. Now my data is all changed. You see how long that took? Like 10 seconds? Because Perl can't do that. Yeah. You can do that with Vim. Yep. Could have done that in Vim as well. In that particular case, I could have, yes. Yep. The problem is that eventually you're going to start using regular expressions that you can't use in Vim because it's essential. It's extended regular expressions and not Perl compatible regular expressions, which are ridiculously handicapped in comparison. So I'll stick with my Perl any day. Thank you. Never called that before. Yeah. Okay. So can we make the script compatible with any format? Not easily. Not in Bash. No, the Bash, that's why it's that way, because the script has a much harder time compiling it. Yeah. I mean, we could, it would be a massive effort in comparison. And it's not as easy to do that. Quite frankly, as soon as this past to this level, it became really hard to do in Bash. The whole entire thing originally was just to see how far we could. This entire clip project was quite literally to see how far I could go with Bash without reaching for Perl or Go. And I now realize that was a good experiment, but this is not Bash code, So, well, parse .7 correctly, absolutely. The only thing it wouldn't parse is if it didn't have all the fields. All right, so let me just, if we're going to do it this way, I mean, we can always change it back, right? So move the data into test data. I mean, here's another fun thing, right? So let's do fields on the test data. And I could do this. I could say 1, 4, oopsie, fields 1, 4. Oops, I have to pass it in. It gives you the 1 and 4. I am kind of glad that we're doing this now because I can do 1, 2, 4. I could do 1 and then 3, and then I don't know, 2 like this. I want to reorganize them. You know what I mean? Because it's all space delimited. So I can do that. This is my fields command. This is the command. This is some Perl code to do the split. Anyway, so I tend to like that. So anyway, yeah. Oh, yeah. Bat. So yeah, it's a little bit easier than awk and sed. So have a look at that if you want to get into some Perl. Anyway, so now how do we get that into this, right? So I'd use bat now. I started using bat. Here's a cool one. Watch this. Bat C clip. This will actually find whatever it is, wherever it's at living. Oh, it's a binary. It's like, oh, see, you can't do that. How about this? How about bat C fields? There you go. Bat C fields. There's my Perl code for that one. Anyway, yeah. Trying to think. My wife's home. She's cooking. I can hear her in the other room. Anyway, so okay, so we have this struct now. At this point, most people would be like, okay, what's next, right? I gotta immediately do this thing. Annotation on the struct driving you crazy, isn't it? You don't have to have an annotation on a struct if the struct is really obvious. In fact, it would be kind of an anti-pattern. You do not need an annotation on a struct that is completely obvious. If you pick good names, I don't think you need it. This one certainly doesn't need it. So name, volume, file, start, duration. You could do that. Why does he want that? A lot of people will want this to say the file name, stuff like that. Okay, how about this? Actually, MPV vol. I don't even know. I mean, it's like. Anyway, you could do this, but I see what you're doing. The other reason I don't like annotations on structs and struct tags like this is because but this is why you might want to do it. Let me show you. So if you go, we're back in our Go here, and now I'm going to do K, capital K, and see what it did. See what it did? It automatically documented. That's a standard Vim thing, by the way. That is not a NeoVim thing. And that jumps me into it so I can read it. So this is why people who, if there were documentation here, it would be show it at the top. Okay. So that's, the point is well taken, the right to do that. But the thing you probably don't want to do is another thing too, is you don't want to put annotations here. We still haven't done JSON yet. I'm going to do the JSON stuff later. Oh, hey, thanks for that sub with Prime. That's very nice. It is what it says on the to make it stuff. Okay. Linter might complain if the struct is public, but not every field needs its own background story. I agree with that. So now the reason I did this type down here is because these all automatically marshal into JSON. Okay. So like if I were to convert this into JSON right now, and which we're going to do, we actually get JSON compatibility by default with this really easily. And I'll show you how we can actually make a command called JSON that will output the database as JSON for those people who want to do that. So how do I get this stuff into this form, right? I'd be starting to write parsing code and stuff. We're going to do something very Go-like, okay? We're going to say, we need to, first of all, we need to unmarshal, we need to make a method on this. So, func video, unmarshal, marshal. I always want to say Marshall, Will, and Holly every time I see this. And this is the text marshaller, and I know I'm getting it wrong. I have to look it up every time. It's the string marshaller. Implements. What is it? PKG. FMT dot. Is it FMT marshaller? I have to go look it up. I don't remember which one it is. Go doc. FMT marshaller. I think it's text marshaller. Marshaller. I could ask my AI and she would have it done in 2 seconds. But I'm going through the hard way. I don't remember the name of it. I would definitely be asking my AI right now. This is the kind of thing that's totally fine to ask your AI. Where does text marshaller live? Is it in string? It's the stringer interface. Yeah, go FMT. That's not the stringer interface. We don't want the stringer interface. We want the marshal and unmarshal. And I don't remember who defines it. All right, fine. I give up. Where is marshaller? Marshal defined in Golang. I can't remember the parent package of it. It defines the interface. I need to show you the interface. So interfaces in Go are they're just hung off of structs. They don't have to be pre-declared. It's a JSON? It's JSON marshal. Of course it is. I feel stupid now. So JSON marshal says if it implements the marshal interface. Yeah, we're not using JSON though. No, we need text marshaller. We don't want JSON marshaller actually. We want text marshalling. Yeah. We want the text marshaller. I meant for text marshalling. We don't want JSON marshalling. We want text marshalling. This is less known, but totally doable. Encoding. That's it. Okay. Of course it is. Including dot text marshaller. Binary on marshaller too. So that somebody suggested binary. You can do this in binary. You can totally do it. You can actually, if you know Rust, this is the Saturday equivalent. So, except for it's kind of built into the language. So Marshall, is it text marshaller? Yeah. And we need to look at the definition of text marshaller. Text marshaller. All right, there it is. Marshal text. That's what we need to implement right here. And JSON is the implementation of text marshaller, by the way, in case you're wondering. Some of you might not know that. You may have some Go coders out there that didn't know that. So marshal text is implemented by JSON, but this isn't JSON. So, but what we can do is we can implement a JSON marshaller instead of an unmarshaller. And now it'll probably look it up for us. It doesn't know it still. I don't know what the interface is. Text unmarshaller. Wait, what? Did I? Oh my God, Rob. Sorry, people. It's probably time for me to stop. text, bytes, and an error. That's it? Really? All right. So unmarshal text, byte, error. Okay. So it takes a byte string. It takes bytes. So we could say in, and then it gives an error. All right. So any method, anything that implements that method fulfills the interface. It doesn't have to declare it. Yeah, just JSON. Yeah, you can write a YAML marshaller, but they're the same. Yeah. So return nil. All right. So this will automatically take text and put it into the thing. This is actually not that hard, right? So we need to chop it up. So now we know that it's just all, and this is just for one record, by the way. So we can do fields byte. I could convert it to a string actually. We're gonna have to do all the casting on all this stuff too. Yeah. So we're gonna do bytes in dot parse. I'm trying to decide whether we want to do bytes dot parse. We need to do bytes dot split. This will be all strings, and then we're gonna have to cast the strings. So this gets really hairy because this gets into string typing and thing, which you'd have to do no matter what. This is literally what unmarshalling is taking a strict thing and putting it. So what is this? I don't even think bytes has a split function. It might. Oh, it does. Okay. So the separator split slices it as I think you can do split slices it into a subslice separated by a separator returns a slice of blah. If the separator is empty, splits after each one. The problem, actually, no, we want fields. Yes, we do. We want fields. Oh my God, fields is so much better. Fields actually will do more than one white space. Yeah, I don't think it has a fields. Oh, it does. Oh God, that's so awesome. Okay, so fields automatically splits it by white space by default. So field interprets it as a sequence of unique code points, splits the slice on an instance of one or more constructed white space. And we're talking about Unicode white space. So it already does all the heavy lifting for us. That's where I got the term fields from for that command line thing I wrote. So we're going to put in here. So fields gets us all our fields. And then we need to do each of the fields. So first of all, we need to make sure we have them all. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we don't have 5 fields, this is bad code, right? We don't send an error message saying it didn't thing. So we say, so if length of fields. Now we could make it so that the duration is, well, we need to have people always do it right. So fields does not equal 5. And we could make it so that, no, we're not, if it should never get to this point if there's a comment. We don't want commented out lines. No, we don't want that because it slows down parsing anyway. I hate people that let lots of unnecessary comments and shit because it slows the parsing down. Not much, but it does. The length of fields is it's not equal to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have an error. So FMT error F, which is this nice simple error. We can do better errors later so that they're typed errors. They're much better. But right now we're just going to do a basic string error. It's a 5 fields required. And that's just a simple thing. That's why JSON-C took forever to be a thing. Hell yeah. Here's JSON without comments. Yes, agreed. So anyway, so we've got this thing, 5 fields requirements, and we can actually just return it. So if there's an error, we'll just return it. Otherwise, we have to cast that. So the first one is easy. So we can say name, v.name equals fields, or how, that's another thing is scope, naming things based on scope. So if it's in the same tiny little method or function having a one character thing. This drives people crazy. I heard Primogen like going off on this. He hates it. Of course, he came from JavaScript, but this is much easier to read. So name equals F0, sorry. This isn't Lua. And what else we got? Oh, wait. So it split it into a thing. So we have to cast it. Byte slices can be directly cast to strings without a problem. Undefined. Oh, F. If the length of F is 5. Okay. And so let's say name, volume. Okay, so volume's harder. We're going to have to do an A to I on this. When you bytes versus strings, aren't you limited to ASCII? No, you're absolutely not. No, bytes are Unicode. It said it's a Unicode code points in the byte space. I mean, what I could do is I could cast it to a string right away and then deal with it as strings. Because it doesn't matter. Runes, yeah. I mean, something we could do. I mean, we have to decide if we work with it in terms of bytes. It's not. It's just a casting issue. It's just it would have to in code optimization would be a thing. I actually think A to I. I think I actually have to make it into a string. So we might be good for us to just cast everything to a string right away. That's, if the problem is if we do an assignment to do that casting, it's actually going to make a copy in memory. And I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? So that I think we're going to leave it the way it is. As soon as we do an explicit cast and we do a thing that yeah, I don't think we should do that. Anyway, they have their own project. Okay, so anyway, let's do this. Let's say let's do all the text ones first. Let's do file. I know it's out of order, but I don't care. So file is 012, and okay, so now we have 2 A to I's and A to F's, and these things we have to parse. We have to do. It's the only way to do it. And again, Chloe would have been done with this 10 minutes ago, but I'm still doing it for us to suffer through. Backtick is it's the same as double quote except for it has no escapes. So I just like it because it's easier to read. I hate double quotes. It's hard for me to read it. I like single quotes. Backticks. I know people don't like that. Yeah, that's just me. Most of the time when I'm using a string, I usually want to have like a long string anyway. So I'm usually have like literal line returns in it, and you can't use it. Yeah. You can't use single quote. Single quote is like just for chars. I'm sorry, Unicode code points. So anyway, if we do this, we get it's an A to I sort of thing. Same so namesake from C. But so volume v dot volume equals string f. I don't think you can do A to I on a byte slice. I don't think. We're gonna try and see what happens. I think it's str. Did str.com get deprecated, guys? I think I read something that str.com got deprecated. I think it got deprecated. I'm gonna go read about it. IO utils deprecated. Go has a really strict full support, back support. They never ever get rid of things. They just deprecate them. Package conversion. It doesn't look deprecated, but if you look at the same thing for IO util, you got to be careful, people, because you might end up using code that's been on the internet that somebody told you to use or AI told you to use, but it's been deprecated. Just make sure you check your stuff. So IO util, you know how much of this shit is out there? People will write it like they don't even know. String buffer, thing like that. They do this all the time. So read files. That's totally wrong now. So IO2 implements blah. Deprecated as we go 1.16, which is now like 3 years, 4 years was deprecated. So make sure you check your docs, even with your AI. So I could have swore I read something about string conversion being deprecated, but I guess not. Like how it's supposed to deprecates, yes. That's all it does. It's just literal. I like dealing with literals until I have to use escapes. Honestly, they're faster. That's not true because it gets optimized by the compiler. So anyway, string convert I to what is it? I to C, I to A, I think it is. Did I get it right? No, I didn't. All right, I need my completer. I don't do this very much, so A to I. Yes, that's what we want. We want A to I. I had it backwards because I'm dyslexic. I don't think A to I takes... yeah, it has to be a string. Yeah, so we just have to cast it as a string. Assignment if it's supposed one variable. Wait, what? Oh, an error. Sigh. Kind of not use. This is what people hate about Go. I mean, there is so much hate for that. They hate putting that in there. That's just a macro. So it's getting shadowed. It's not gonna let me do this. This is gonna make me do this. I don't like doing this, but it's easier. Because the walrus operator, this one is already defined and this one is new, and so it's complaining. So you have to do this. And then that will automatically assign to error. This is the only way, by the way, to do a defer that gets the error because it encloses the reference. It's the only way. So that's a big gotcha in Go. People don't know that. Some people really like it. They like it. It's really explicit. Catches stuff right away. It's certainly easier to read, even though it gets messy. If it does get really messy, then just do this. Put some space in there, and stop your complaining. People would argue that this is a better way to write this. That's fine. You do you. So anyway, we got volume. What else we got? We got start and duration. Yep. So volume, start, and this one we'll use as an A to F. No. It's this big long ass one. Yeah, I can't remember it right now. It's not A to I. It's some weird thing. I think it's parse. I think it's parse float. I don't ever use this though. That's parse boolean, parse complex, parse int. I think you can't do A to I. You have to do parse float. I think it is. Yeah. Format int, format float. I'm gonna have to punt. I would be out on anytime I'd be out on Google. I'm asking my AI. It's the same thing as Google. Parse float. There it is. I found it finally. All right. How do we use parse float? Parse float is size and then the size of the ints. And I think we generally want 64. So, I mean, I don't need that big of an int, but a float, but oh well. So float, parse float, what are we on? This is 0, 1, 2, 3. So 3 and 4. Okay, so this is 3. 3. Oh God, what did I do wrong? Wait, did I really do that? Oh, I'm such an idiot. Forgive my lack of ability here to type. Error unexpected. Oh. It's probably time for me to stop. I cannot believe these stupid mistakes I'm making. This is ridiculously stupid, Rob. All right, so okay, I need to cast it as a string. You can cast them back and forth as long as you're sure they're going to be the same. Hey, one more to go, and we're good to go. And I probably should kill it at this point. We're on 3 hours on this video. It is a service that creates animated characters in your LMTTS. I did not know that was a thing. If Verico some function, yes, yep, I do that all the time. You can save a line. I do that a lot. The whole thing. That's actually idiomatic. I had a PR rejected by some noobs who didn't like that because I didn't do that, and I was like, I don't need to do this because I'm going to use a variable below, and they're like, this one is not. That's not one of those cases, by the way. I don't think. You guys, I got to know this. So somebody has mentioned this. I'm going to try something. Okay, so I don't think this will work because I think yeah, I didn't think so. Whoops. None. Yeah, see, same problem. It has the same problem as the other one, unfortunately. Yeah. I had to know that. I was wondering if it had some other intelligence to look that up. Worth a look. All right, so anyway, we have start and then we have duration. And we're done. So duration is 4. That was really slow. A 3-4 character name is referability. I agree. This is better. I mean, especially, can you imagine if this said fields? That'd be completely off the screen. So there. Oh wait, my clips thing is turned off. I can't do my slow there. Okay. So name, file, volume, start, blah. All right. So that is all good. Now here's the really cool thing. You know, we actually, you know, if we get a file, now the only thing that we'd have to do for the unmarshaller for this is, well, let's test our marshaller right away. Let's test our marshaller right away. Let's do that. And then we'll test the video thing. So clip test.go package clip test func example on Marshall. No. Video on Marshall text. Some of you know this already, but if you put don't forget the colon, blah. So then we're going to do this. We're going to say input text equals, let's actually go grab some test data. Let's go grab an actual record. And this is why I like backticks, by the way. So, now the question is whether we want to include the line return at the end, which I don't think we do. So, you know, so we can say vid equals, let's see, var vid equals a clip dot video. Declare but not use. And now we can actually undo a thing into it. Sorry, the schedule's kind of out of whack, Wookie. I'll need to get that fixed for you. So here we go. Now we can actually do the input. We can say, we can either, by the way, I could have used new here and it would have been just fine too. Actually, let's do that because this is not going to have a 0 value. I can do this. No, I don't think this instantiates a new one. Let me try. I'm used to doing new here, so I'm kind of out of my league here. So this does work with strings because they have 0 values initially. I don't think structs do those. I think the nil value first is a nil value. So there isn't one defined. So actually, I take it all back. We're going to do this. Equals a new video. That gives me a reference to a new instance of that thing. There's another way to do this. These are literally the same way to do this. These are exactly the same things. Those two are exactly the same. There's just a different syntax. And that was added. The new syntax was added after the fact. Everything's screaming at me because it's not getting used, but we're going to use it right now. So we're going to do vid. Wait, let's see. So we need to say vid.text wait, Marshall, right? Marshall text. Did I say Marshall? Unmarshall. Unmarshall. Marshall puts it into the string. Unmarshall takes it out. Okay. So unmarshall in. Now that's a string. So I cannot use but because it's not a byte slice. So I can either do this or I could have done it up here. Either way, it doesn't matter. And then what? So then we print it. So the print command will automatically give you a pretty good string version of the thing. And now we just go test. And you'll see it printed it out for us. And if we wanted to get crazy with this, so as you can see, so now it's time, let's actually implement the marshaller at the same time. So then when it goes in and it goes out, it's the same thing. Right now it's using a default marshaller, which is proving that it's working, but the print actually calls the stringer interface and or the text marshaller. Now, the reason we did text marshaller instead of the stringer interface is because text marshaller works for things that are not necessarily related to string marshalling. So, we have a decision to make here, and this is actually kind of an upper level Go coder thing that most Go coders do not know. So if you've been coding Go for a while and you don't know this, make sure you do this right. If you implement the string method as the method of stringifying or implementing a stringer, you will be missing a niche case where applications are using text marshalling without string conversion. And I know that that's really hard to get your head around right now, but what I'm trying to tell you is when you implement marshalling, a lot of people would do this. They would not consider unmarshal text at all. Well, first of all, in this case, you have to marshal text. It's the only way to convert text into a thing, period. It's just it. There's no such thing as unstring, right? So, but a lot of people, when they don't want this generic version of it, when they don't want this generic Go stringification, it's actually an implementation of text marshaller that is adopted by all things, period. And it's universal and it's implemented. And so in order to override it, you need to set the marshal text method in order to do that. And that will also affect the string interface. But the reason I'm saying this is because a lot of people, when they want stuff in some string format that they want, they would just implement this. They would do this. They would do this wrongly. They would implement video and they would implement the string interface, which, just returns a string of the thing. And they would just do this. They would say, return FMT. Now, this will work. But what I'm trying to tell you is that there are edge cases that this does not catch. Okay. This only take care of the text string case. And I'm going to ask my Chloe to make sure that what I'm saying is true. So, because it might've changed. So I want to say that. Okay. So, is it good enough to implement FMT string here interface, or should I implement encoding text marshaller marshaller. I want to see if she can give me some insight into this. They may have changed it actually. That's why I want to ask. It's been last time I learned about this was like, God, 15.15. We're on 25, 27 now. The difference between FMT stringer and encoding interface Go depends on the use case. The stringer interface is the easiest, and this is what people mostly do. I do this all the time to render my stuff as JSON, because nobody wants to read the version that comes with it. I actually have a JSON library for doing this very thing. You do JSON.this and you put the thing in there and it gives it all the method implementations. The interface is the methods to implement the interface, and you get JSON automatically. So, use primarily for human readable representation of a string automatically called when using FMT. It works seamlessly with FMT-based logging debugging. This is the key. Cons, limited to single string representation. Not recognized by serialization libraries like encoding.json and encoding.xml. If you implement a text marshaller, then if your thing becomes a value in somebody else's JSON output, it will be stringified in line and it will appear within double quotes and it will be a string in that thing. If you don't do that, it doesn't work. So I'm glad she did this. She explained in very, very explicit detail why people are doing it wrong when they're only implementing the stringer interface, the text stringer interface, FMT stringer interface. They should instead be implementing the text marshaller interface, because the text marshaller interface will do the right thing when their thing becomes a part of another thing that ultimately gets marshaled as text or whatever. And if you don't do that, you are screwed because it won't know what to do. So, if the representation is only for humans, debug output terminal displays examples is blah. I'm telling you right now, people, don't do this. Implement text marshaller. It takes just a little bit extra time, and it covers the string it covers the string case, but it also covers the JSON output case and other things like that. So again, this is extremely esoteric. It's a very, very niche thing, but I guarantee you it will bite you in the ass if you don't do it, because you'll go to do logging or something, and you'll be wondering why your stuff is like, got line returns in the JSON output or whatever, and it'll get you. This needs to go on my gotchas list. Actually, I'm gonna go put it in my gotchas list right now. I'm making a book, and a section of the book is Golang gotchas. I'm not gonna do the whole thing right now, guys. I just have to put it in there to remind myself. Wait, why doesn't it do it? Coding from the get-go. Where's the gotchas? Wait, what? Why do I have a Go program there? That's weird. Where's my gotchas? I don't know where my gotchas are. Input string comes last. Let's say text implement text encoding there. That's all. Oh, git dot save, add a reminder for okie doke. Thank you for the bearing with that. Probably time for me to end here. My wife is, I don't know what she's doing. Time for me to go pretty soon. So we got text marshaller done, though. Let's actually do the rest of our test. Well, we already, I don't know what to do here. So our test case, If your type needs to serialize the textual format for encoding data interchange format, use stringer for string representation or for logging debugging. No. Both of them. I think they both need to be used. Okay, so let's actually test this hypothesis. If we implement text marshaller, we get stringer automatically. Pretty sure. I could be wrong. Let's try it. So let's implement text marshaller. Text marshaller is easy. So let's just do this. Function v video marshaller. And that returns is it a byte slice? I think it's a byte slice and an error. Is that right? I think it is. I think it is. I wish I could remember the case that I got burned on for this. Commercial self-injection form, yes. It is a byte slice error. Okay, good. I wish I could remember. All right, so I mean this is pretty easy. Return mt sprintf nil, and we'll just make it into a thing. V dot name v dot volume. Actually, I wonder if I did a strings join, I think it will give me the strings representations already. Yeah, I think it will. Is strings join give to an error output? Please tell me no. Okay, good. Can you still elements to the first arguments to create a single string? I could probably do byte slice join, actually. Byte slices, separator, yes. All right, so wait, does that have to be an array? It does. I mean, it's getting kind of long, so it has to make a new one anyway, temporary. It's gonna have to. It's not gonna be able. I don't think. Yeah, it's gonna have to instantiate a new array. So, unfortunately, that's a memory hog. But oh well. Yeah. Too many arguments to string to join. Oh, whoopsie. I'm gonna have to type holes again because I'm an idiot. Builds space. Is it wanted to be a string or no? It's a byte slice. Gosh dang it. Fuck this. Fuck this. These other ones is gonna give me shit about it. I think I'm gonna have to just do sprint up. I didn't want to do sprint up, but I'm gonna have to do sprint up. Yeah. I would have been done by now if I used sprint up. I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. SprintF does automatic conversion of all those types into their textual formats, including any text marshaling. Yeah, so yeah. And then we have all the same thing here. I don't know how many times I'm going to do this. I am sorry for sucking. This just gives you all of the marshalling of the ints and floats for free, and that's why I'm doing it this way. So we just do V, which is the V is if you're from another language, you don't know what that is. V is whatever the string is, and it's extremely convenient. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 4. And I know this doesn't look like, it looks like you could join split might be a better way out there, but you know, this is guaranteed to give you the exact format that you want. Into data format suitable for transmission. It can be serialized, but serialized and explicit struck out, but that's how I think of it. Right. But what I'm saying is that a lot of times people will want their stuff to be treated as text, and they don't do text marshal, or they do stringer. And I'm actually about to test some of that on my own, because I think there's a chance that you have to implement both text marshaller and stringer in order to get the log stuff that you're talking about, Bill. I think you might actually have to do both. In which case, obviously, you just call marshaller from string if that's the case. I don't know if that's the case, though. We're gonna find out. So and what? So return convert it to a byte slice and call it out. And no. That's a cast. We just cast any strings can be cast to byte slices, and byte slices can be stacked to cast to strings, provided that you know that they're both full Unicode stuff. If they're not, you're screwed. So there. All right. So right away, my test is going to fail. Oh, it's already failing, but oh, interesting. I didn't do it. I didn't do the stringer interface. Interesting. Okay, well, yeah. I mean, I was kind of remembering that. So we have to implement both. Huh. Very interesting. Return. I know I'm gonna have to do text marshal to get it. You know what I could do is I could do the reverse of this. What if we did that? Does JSON use the stringer implementation? And maybe I've got this wrong. I think JSON will use a string formatter if it finds it. If it doesn't, we don't need text marshaller. I could be remembering this wrong. I think I might be remembering it backwards, which would not be the first time. I'm dyslexic, so I'm not serious. It could be. I need to ask Chloe. This is driving me nuts. Doesn't JSON.marshal use fmt.stringer if found? compressed in some way. Well, that's the thing. JSON Marshal does use FMT interface, but only under specific conditions. Interacts with FMT string. If the type implements the string interface, JSON Marshal will call. If the type implements the stringer interface, this is the string method we just did. It will call string method only when the type is used as a value for a string field in a JSON object. Interesting. Is invoked because JSON Marshal serializes the data field as a string. Oh. Well, how? No, because they're both text, man. Oh, you know what it is? It's byte slices. It's byte slices. Now remember, that's what burned me last time. So if you assign a value of a thing, that's why text Marshal uses byte slices. Because if the value is a byte slice, it will totally ignore your text stringer because it's not a string. So if you want to do this right and you want to be safe that all your transmission and it's safe for everything, usage everywhere, but if that string is ever converted to a byte slice in any way, which includes over the wire and thing, then persistence to disk and stuff, then you've got to implement text marshaller. But I think we can get away with calling string and casting it. Yeah, that's super interesting. Do you know why this is important? Because if sometimes people want the JSON marshaller by default will do ASCII encoding, Unicode, base 64 encoding of binary data. And actually that's technically still a string. Never mind. But if you have, so if you JSON Marshal, this is getting way deep here, but if you JSON Marshal a binary field, it will a byte slice. If you JSON a byte slice, it will do I'm pretty sure it will do Unicode. It will do the encoding. Yeah, it does. It confuses everybody, and that's I think it's probably still one of the biggest. It's really important that we do it though, and because it's not even really a byte slice, right? It's a Unicode code point slice. And that's even crazier, right? And then ranging over it, right? Ranging is, yeah, that's actually got to be one of the biggest. It's convenient and stuff, but it's way magical. Like when you people haven't hit this yet, but when you range over a byte slice, it operates completely differently than ranging over a string, and it's not what you think. It's not. It doesn't do bytes. It does Unicode code points. Or did I get that backwards again? I think if you range over a string, it ranges over Unicode code points, even if they're 3 bytes. But if you range over bytes, it individually goes over the bytes, and you can get into the middle of a Unicode code point and be screwed. So sometimes if you have a string and you want to make sure that you're going over each byte, you have to cast it to a byte slice before you can range over it. And this is not beginner stuff. It's not beginner stuff. Because it's like, a lot of this stuff was done to make it easier, and I've been doing it long enough to know that. So there's just not. So yeah. So that's okay. So I mean that's a good place to end here. We're going on 4 hours here. So hello, how you doing, grandson? How you doing? So if we do why is byte slice in C++ in terms of thing? A byte slice is literally an array of bytes. Yeah. And a string underneath is an array of Unicode code points, which are multi-byte. And I think that's the biggest thing. The creator of Unicode made Go. I mean, let that sink in for a second. And anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, Unicode, the way they got around the limitation of, so many numbers per whatever character set is they, expanded beyond a single byte. And so there are two, a byte is 8 bits, 8 ones or zeros, 7 actually. A byte is 8, but ASCII's 7. So bottom line, they're 8, right? So everything we've been doing for years up until the 90s was all 8-bit. That you would use the term char. In fact, Go has come up with a short term called rune to mean an individual Unicode code point, which means an individual Unicode code point can be 1 byte, 2 bytes, or 3 bytes. And that's what's going on. Yeah, you're fine dropping by. See you later. All right, so here we go. We've got, if we do so here all we have to do is this. We just do v dot string and turn it into a byte slice. Yeah, that'll work. That our test will pass now. Well, not pass, but it'll be different. So you see what it did? But char is, that's how I've always heard it pronounced. Char is char. Yeah. I know we once upon a time we did a whole pronunciation guide because some people pronounce the acronyms and some people like, do you say GIF or GIF, or do you say char or char? Do you say rune? Do you say HTTP? Do you say chat GPT? It's like slices and maps is special and Go. They are totally special. Slices and maps are abstractions on top of the underlying memory arrays. And that, if you're a C coder, you have to understand that. It's really important. They're every slice and map, every slice's map is passed around by reference because they are abstractions on the top of the underlying things. So, Go has arrays and slices, but nobody ever uses arrays because arrays are they're brittle. They're C memory. The slices you can take. This is why they can actually totally rearrange a slice because the underlying memory never changes, and it's pretty magical stuff. Some people really hate it, but it enables appending to slices and growing them and predefining their size to be a particular thing, and then dumping stuff in at specific positions within the array, underlying array. It's messy. If you're a C coder, you'll like it because it's an abstraction you probably would have built, but yeah. 3 bytes per unit point, even if only 1 byte is needed for breaking one. No, it doesn't. Actually, I take it back. Yes, it does. Every Unicode code, well, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. I take it back. I take it back because I was writing a parser. I was writing, actually, that's a really fun project. If you want to have a fun project, write a low level scanner. And it's so cool because when you're ranging over, there's in the Unicode library, there's a thing you can parse the Unicode byte, and it will increment by 3 the number of bytes, but it'll only increment the count by 1. I don't know if Hayes that bytes. I mean, it might be because I don't think it has null at the end. I don't know if null does null terminated bytes or not. I don't think it does. I think it might. I don't know. I read somewhere that null termination for strings for character arrays in C is a bad idea now. That nobody does that. That's like left over from the old days. That everybody's using like 2 field structs for strings now. Did you hear about this? I like it. I think it's be a lot better. Did you guys see how when this printed out, it printed the same thing? That's what you wanted to see. See how it printed out that same thing? And now somebody out there is wondering, how do we know that it parsed it? It looks like it just rewrote it. It did just rewrite it. So it's because it called our marshaller and then it printed right out. So the thing that's really cool about this is no matter where we write it now, it will write it in the right format. Whether it's in a log file or it's anytime it sees that binary struct, it will represent it as a string exactly the same way that could be parsed. And that's super cool because now you can make it a part of anything else. The C thing, I don't know where I saw that. I think it was modern C. It's basically there's one field for the length of the string, and there's one field that contains the bytes of the string, and there's no null termination. I actually know it was a YouTuber. It was a YouTube C person who was like, yeah, nobody does null terminated strings anymore, not in modern C. And I'm like, what? Yeah, so because then they can, be precise with it. They don't have to wait. Null termination has like caused so many problems. It's seriously, think about all the problems null termination has caused. I mean, it's just like, oh, terrifying. It's terrifying all the problems that single thing has caused. To do what? To save like how many bytes? Because instead of making it into a struct? Uses old C. Yeah. Overflows. I know, man. It's like, so that's one of the biggest complaints about it is that's the reason they say to use it. Anyway. So let's make my test pass here, and then we're done for today. So we do have to parse the entire file, and then the really great thing about this is that all we have to do is do unmarshaled text. And if we call unmarshaled text on the file, we don't have to open the file and parse it and everything. We could just read all of it in and then unmarshal it, and we're good to go. And then we can start using everything as it was, as it was included. This test will pass. So there we go. In fact, I don't even think. Let's make another test case really quick. Yep. Let's make another one. Whoops. YAF. There we go. Yep. You're resounding. Yep. Unmarshaled text. Let's say videos. And we can. I mean, we don't have to do this. We could have just made it an array. The problem. Okay, so this is an interesting thing. YAML's got a problem with this too. It's like, do you unmarshal the line return at the end? Is the line return a part of your stringified notation? And we could do that. We could say that your terminator for your string is a line return, in which case that the file full of line returns it would have to have a line return as a terminator. If we did that in our string marshaller, then we would be done, because we wouldn't have to have a different type that knows how to print these. You know what? I think we need to do that. Let me tell you why. I just realized we have to have that, because if somebody prints, watch, let me show you. This is important. So if I say, let's actually make two of these. And, I mean, if I do, okay, so if I say I have vids, this is going to put them right next to each other. I don't even know what Odin is. So I'd probably pick Zig, but I don't know. Vids. Okay. So if I do vids equals, vid, wait, what am I doing? Vids equals vid. I'm going to put two vids in here, vid and a vid. All right. Well, watch this now. It's going to be screwed up. Vid is not a type. Bullshit. Oh, whoops. Video. Undefined. Whoops. Okay. Clip dot video. It has to be, okay, clip dot video pointers. How about that? Couldn't I just, okay, watch this. This is going to print them all one after the other. Yeah, we have to put a line return in there. We have to. Watch. Yep. I knew that was coming. So that's not what we want, right? We don't want that. Okay, so there's two ways around this. One of them is we make the videos type and then we cast it. And then it will use the marshalling for that. If we don't do that, then we get this problem, right? What we want is when everybody prints the videos collection, that it will actually just it'll look like a file the way we want it to be. And it's not doing that. So, so I actually take that back. Let's go ahead and do this. So, I'm going to finish this and we'll be done. This will be the end for tonight. I know, good old 4-hour video, right? So example video, Marshall text. Let's do videos. Now, again, we could have just done this as a string. Anyway, we could say in. Well, actually, we don't need in. We could just say. We could make a couple clips. We could say vids equals video. We can make a bunch of these. Vids on Marshall text. Wait, we wanted to marshal the text, right? Actually, no. This is unmarshalling. So vids. No, we don't want that. I'm doing the wrong one. So this one we want. Yeah, we want a bunch of blank lines. So we're going to be scanning over the lines. I think we're going to do this next time because we're going to do line scanners. You guys haven't seen that yet. So line scanning is a totally unique thing in Go. It's different than most things you've seen before. So in order for this to work, in order for us to unmarshal the text, we're going to have to scan over each line, and that could be its own video all by itself. So I'm actually going to call it for tonight, and then when we get back, we were able to marshal the video. We learned a lot about that and a lot of fun side quests at the same time. Let's go ahead and raid somebody, and I mean I can't promise you another 3-hour video, but we will do another video on this particular topic, and I promise not to work on this particular project until I make another video for this, because this is fun. This is fun to go through, and a substantial number of you are more advanced programmers who already know what's going on, and you want to see how Go does this kind of stuff. So I'm going to go snuggle with my wife on the couch and watch Marvel movies and hang out. And I wish you guys the best. And we'll pick this up a little bit later. Please watch for this on YouTube, and I'll put that up sometime tonight or tomorrow. So thank you. Okay, stop that.